Hey, what's going on, everybody? Crew Talk, RealTWC in the building. JB representing everybody right now. And right now we have an amazing guest for today's show. He is a major member of the wrestling crew in terms of this, like everybody that watches that we watch wrestling with. Serg, happy to have you on, bro.
Happy to be here.
One of me, Carlton, Reef, you're among our best friends. We all go like way back. You and I go like way back, man. We always shoot the shit. And it's okay to curse on us. And I know you always have your opinions and always love to, bring the smoke and have no issues with whatever because you back it up with knowledge, man. And just really excited to have you on. And yeah, man. So first off, how you doing?
I'm good, man. Thank you. First of all, thank you for having me. I love being part of Crew Talk. And just to expand on what you're saying, yeah, we've known each other for quite a bit of time now.
I know, it's crazy.
Going back to the early days of Fox and Hound.
Yeah.
When they were still showing pay-per-views in sports bars. This was when they were still pay-per-views.
I know, right?
And dude, I won't forget it. I mean, it was what, 2006, 7, 8? No, wait.
I think it was 2009 or 10.
2009. Yeah.
So it's definitely the really late 2000s, probably 2009 or 10. Yeah.
So more than a decade for sure. Less than 20, but more than a decade.
Mm-hmm.
And just for the people that don't know, this is from the sports bars when they used to show wrestling events in the big screen for everybody to come in. And that was I almost missed this. It's
I know, man.
It was such a great atmosphere because you were surrounded by people that were part of it, that wanted to be part of it. And you were also surrounded by people that thought wrestling, was fake.
Mm-hmm.
And like the people that would come up to you and it's like, yo, this is fake, right? Yes, sir. We've heard this a million times. We understand. We don't want to have this argument with you.
Oh, we've all heard that one.
Yeah. Like, they're not fighting for real, right? Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, man. There'd be like those random people that just like, hey, you guys know, like, and we're like, all right, just move along, like.
Go ahead, sir, and take a chop from anybody. Tell me if it's not real.
Yeah, bro.
It's like, it's not real fighting, man. Why do you watch it? It's like, dude, you watch movies. You know that's not real, right?
Exactly. Yup.
It has entertainment right in the name.
Yup. And like, it's crazy you mentioned, Fox and Hound, how you like kind of like miss the atmosphere. The atmosphere was great. The atmosphere was just a bunch of wrestling fans just congregating, watching the pay-per-views as it was back then. I think today they call them premium live events. That's what I think they're actually called right now.
Premium live events, yeah.
Yeah. I had a bud say PLE, and I was like, for a second, I was like, what the hell does that mean? And then yeah, they're PLEs. So
that's what Hunter's been referring to them as for the longest time, PLEs, and I'm not entirely used to it.
Oh, yeah, because most of our lives it's been posted.
Exactly, pay-per-views. Even to this day we call it pay-per-view, even if it's not.
Mm-hmm.
But it bears mentioning that that's never changed. We still get together at least once a month to watch that. Now with everybody, obviously having things in their life develop, and it's not, every member of the group every single time, but it's always there.
Yeah. Yeah.
If it's not in person, it's always live. It's on through video call like now.
Mm-hmm.
But it always happens, and I don't care if we're watching it through Skype. It's still a pay-per-view.
Yep, for sure.
And I will forever call it a pay-per-view.
Yep.
I pay my subscription to goddamn Peacock so that I can watch this. But yes.
Yep.
That whole atmosphere of just people freaking out at the same thing you were freaking out, and those quote unquote arguments that you would have with people that would disagree with you.
Man. It's awesome.
Just have ridiculous points.
Walking over to the other table, walking over to starting stuff with people at their other tables and stuff like that, and then just seeing the reactions, when people returned or an out or a twist in a match or a heel turn or you know what I mean, face turn, just Good times.
One of the biggest ones I remember. I called Chris Jericho showing up at the Rumble.
Oh yeah, which one was this?
I forget. I'm terrible with dates.
Right.
But it was
right.
the Rumble where he showed up. I did the same thing with Edge, and everybody was like, nah, Edge is not coming back. It's not coming back. Bam, Edge showed up.
Mm-hmm,
Everybody lost their mind.
Mm-hmm.
But it was always like it was always that moment of like, see, I told you.
Yes,
I told you. And everybody's losing their minds. The best of the best was watching, and I'll never forget it, was watching Shawn Michaels and The Undertaker fight at WrestleMania for the first time. And we were at KOP at Fox and Hound watching it. And those reactions to that match will be forever burned in my brain.
I actually, it's crazy. And this indicates how like far back this all goes with this group. I actually was not at the KOP in 2009. I was at the one in Center City, Philadelphia, in 2009. In 2010, with the rematch, they moved it to the main event because the one in 2000 at the 25th anniversary stole the show, and it's like, why wasn't this the main event? So they learned from that, put it in the.
I mean, because literally, like,
crazy.
I don't remember anything from that event other than that much. Like, who followed it? Who cares who followed it? It doesn't matter. It's arguably the greatest match of all time.
Yep.
And bring any promotion, bring anybody in. Anything shy of you saying like Dean Malenko and Eddie Guerrero in ECW will fall short of that list. Like that, nothing will catch up to that. At least I don't think.
I actually agree with that take. I think in terms of like the atmosphere, like just two legends, two goats going at it like that. It was just like, it was just really what pro wrestling is all about. Like I still remember those matches and everything like that. You have Taker high in your list and HBK, and so do I, especially HBK, as we all know.
HBK is the GOAT, man. So after AJ Styles.
As you could all see, because Colton mentions that a lot. Serg is in on all the jokes that we have with each other, anything like that. So yeah, man, tell everybody like what else you're into. Like you've been involved. Something I think a lot of people don't know about you is that you are you've actually like wrestled before, and like you have actually like been involved. You've been, people in the industry, and you have just like so much wrestling knowledge and everything like that. So like, can you go a little in depth into like what got you into professional wrestling, and how much you love it, and
sure,
all that.
So the love for wrestling for me came up when I was very young. I was born and raised in Peru, in South America, and we got wrestling always a little bit later than when it happened live. So usually not too long, like maybe a couple months or so. And that's when we would be able to get around to watching it. And I remember that the very, very, very first thing I ever saw was a match between Ric Flair and Terry Funk.
Oh my gosh, that's amazing. That's a pretty damn good first match.
Exactly.
Wow.
And it was absolutely amazing. It blew my mind, and ever since then, I was 5 years old. Mm-hmm. At that point, I was like, ooh, wrestling. And then I discovered everything else. Then I fell into like, at the time was the WWF, and it would come translated in Spanish. So like how you see the Spanish announce table destroyed every time. I actually heard those people in that table narrate everything that was happening, because at the time I didn't speak English. And dude, like I think that I fell in love then. My love was probably cemented right around WrestleMania 12. But I went like head over heels at WrestleMania 17. WrestleMania 17,
arguably the best WrestleMania ever.
Yeah. I mean, I have a take on that, because as much as I love 17, my favorite WrestleMania, and it's because it's the first one I ever actually attended, was WrestleMania 20. Yeah, 20. So for me personally, nothing will ever top that, because there was just so many great matches.
I mean, dude, that's an amazing WrestleMania, man. And I know that. Yeah, go ahead.
I cannot. I still can't top. I'm sure I can get some ideas, but I don't think that I've ever seen a better triple threat than Shawn Michaels, Triple H, and He Who Shall Not Be Named.
That's one of the best triple threats that ever happened, man. That's like instead of
The Rock, Kurt Angle, and Taker is up there.
That's another one. That's up there. Yeah, that's up there. It's instead of ranking, sometimes I like to do tiers just to get set, because I get too much in my head about like ranks. That's a tier 1 triple threat match.
Oh, 100%.
At WrestleMania 100%. 20. That's no debate a tier 1 triple threat match. And that's arguably had the best. I mean, all things considered, especially at that moment, that was probably one of, if not the best, ending to a WrestleMania that you're ever going to see, especially if you're a hardcore wrestling fan. I don't think that can be topped. It's just in terms of the moment, and at that time in 2004, I don't know if you knew exactly how Eddie and he who shall not be named, like aka Chris Benoit, Crew Talk is off the air. No, but exactly, just knowing the stories of them as at that time, and that was like pure, genuine emotion. That was not fake. That wasn't like acting.
That was real.
That was legit,
100%.
Pure, real emotion of Journey being told you can't do it because you're too small, and that work rate stuff isn't gonna work. You can't. Right. You're not that great on the mic. All that stuff. Right. And to see them both at the apex in the top company in the world at that time, on the biggest show, on the 20th anniversary, seeing that live, Serge, I cannot imagine how great that is.
From two people that came up together, and especially how big of an Eddie fan I am.
Yep.
And he's coming up, like Eddie, like knowing his history, knowing his entire story, leading to that No Way Out match, and then at WrestleMania beating arguably one of the best technical wrestlers at the time, maybe ever, in Kurt Angle. Yes. It's just amazing. Mm-hmm. And then you get Benoit, and suddenly, like Black Tiger and Kid Pegasus are suddenly in WWE as world champions. It blew my mind. I was, one of the greatest things I ever seen.
And just to bridge off to you for one moment, so things don't get caught out of context. The Crew does not condone anything that Chris Benoit did. We're talking about him as his impact as a wrestler. Two things can be true. On the one side, he's one of the greatest technical wrestlers of all time, and on the other side, he's we hope he's burning in hell for what he did.
Right.
So it's just simple as that.
Yeah. So it's we're talking about purely about his wrestling career and not his character.
Right.
Because otherwise we can condemn a whole lot of people.
Yeah, exactly.
That way. But yes, that's why we refer to him, and in that context alone.
Yep.
Going back to your original question, I did train to become a wrestler. I never pursued it further because of personal issues that came up, family related stuff. But I did train. I wrestled up a few times for CCW, and I wish I had the video. My buddy George had the video of me getting chopped by Big Mark Mast. And Mark Mast at the time was known for like chopping people, and one guy, like, he collapsed his lung. Like, the man was massive and his chops were legendary. Mm-hmm. And they're like, "Hey, Serg, take a chop from Mark." I'm like, "All right." And I took the chop like a champ. It hurt, yeah, but it wasn't like I wasn't gonna, sit there and cry. It did hurt. And it's funny because you could see the marks right on my chest when I took it. I wish I had the opportunity to pursue it further. It's, of course, something I absolutely love with all my heart, always will, even if I disagree entirely with the content that it's being put out sometimes. Mm-hmm. As you know, I have interesting takes with
oh, we know that
when it comes to that, and it gets pretty argumentative. But I can
it's all
back it
love
up.
though.
I can back it up.
Yeah, it's all love.
Exactly. And
Okay.
you know, ever since obviously with the rest of the crew, with Sharif and all those guys, I've known Sharif for 20 years. And if he hops on, you know, we'll talk about that, of how we met and how that happened. And we used to wrestle outside of my house. There's a huge field in my old neighborhood. Field, so we would go out and wrestle there, and the neighbors started coming out to watch us, and it got to the point where neighbors would come out with their grills, put their chairs, and start barbecuing and watch us wrestle and cheer us on.
Oh, that's awesome.
And it was me, Keenan, Sharif, our buddy Jermaine, who we haven't seen in a long time, and Dante. Dante was a big part of that. The people that recall that, there was a moment where I put him through one of our garden tables. You know those green tables that they put in the lawn, that are somewhat plastic. I FI'd him through one of those.
The carnage. That man has a family, damn it.
Dante took all the punishment, man, because like, you know, I'm a big guy, but ask him. He took a shooting star press from me.
Oh my, yeah, I know you mentioned that, man.
Terrifying and impressive because number one, nobody thought that big dude like me could pull off a flip, let alone a shooting star press. And Dante's like, I'll take it, and he took it. After that, you know, I even went out and bought a giant trampoline, which we set up in my backyard, and we have videos to this day of us wrestling there. Actually, one of our videos has almost 1 million views. It's like 18 years old now, but it has almost 1 million views from when YouTube was first coming out. And
that's sick. That's
sick. It's and you know, just suffice it to say that I absolutely love wrestling with all my heart, and if I could do it, I would be wrestling right now. Yeah.
Awesome, man. Awesome. Now, something that everybody, you know, little clue into me and Serg's relationship. We're fellow dorks. We're fellow. We love music. We both have, you know, talked about collaboration. We both, you know, Serg is. We have similar music tastes. We've been to concerts together. Serg, this is just off the cuff, man. Like, if you were a pro wrestler, what would your theme song be if you could choose it from any artist?
Oof. So it depends. I have thought about this question, and I have two answers.
Okay.
If I am a face, I am coming out to "Insurmountable" by Mercyfall.
Okay.
And if I am a heel, I am coming out to Saliva, and I cannot recall the name of the song right now. But
we'll come back to you.
It is amazing.
Do you remember the album or the year?
Yeah. It's Cinco Diablo. I'll tell you right now.
No worries, man. That's
Hunt
awesome.
You Down.
Okay. Nice.
The lyrics of the song make it 100% worth it to come out as a heel for that.
Nice.
And I don't know if I can.
Gonna try to blast it. Oh boy.
Yeah. Right now it's playing. Can you hear it?
No, I can't hear it. But you know.
Yeah.
Y'all hearing the you know, the title of the songs, just search them, and you know, yeah, they're probably pretty, you know, they're gonna be blasted on the speakers there, blasted in your ears, you know. Yeah, that's awesome, man. I guess, like, you know, what else? How do you feel right now about? And as y'all know, on Crew Talk, we love for people to unload and give takes. So, Serg, you mentioned you love to give takes, and you know that's something that we love to do. I don't know how much you and I are going to disagree because we agree on a lot of things.
A lot, not on everything.
Not on everything, but definitely. You know, we pretty much are on the same wavelength of a lot of things. So, how do you feel about, you know, today's today's general wrestling, landscape and everything like that. WWE, AEW, Ring of Honor, which is owned by AEW, Impact, all the other indie promotions. Like, just how do you feel? Let me focus that a little more in terms of WWE and AEW, because they're and Impact. How do you feel about the major promotions right now and what's going
on? So I think at this moment in time we have, and I don't know if this might be controversial or not, and that's just how I think about it. I think that we're at a point where we have the best in-ring work ever. But
I don't think it's a hot take at all.
But very, very subpar execution of storyline, character development, all that. I think that the Attitude Era holds probably the most entertaining, exciting stuff as far as like storylines and being creative and raunchy and providing content. Whereas nowadays there's pure good wrestling, like in-ring work.
Right.
With that said, I think the landscape of wrestling right now is oversaturated because of competition. While that is usually a good thing for us, I think it also you can get to wrestling fatigue. I absolutely adore wrestling, but I cannot sit there and watch a full 3-hour episode of Raw. I will record it and I will fast forward through all the BS.
Man, and this is coming from, I want everyone to know, this is like, we are upper tier pro wrestling fans. Like, this is not like casual shit here. This is right. We are upper tier, can shoot the shit with anybody about pro wrestling type of people. Like, we've met Bill Apter. We've met like people we've met people like in the industry. Like, if Serg, if you are saying that is a drop, because so I guess a lot of people would think like, oh my gosh, like, you can never have too much wrestling. Well, it's a fair point, because I was just saying, like, I just realized I think AEW has a show almost every day. Like,
almost
every day, and and including when you throw in WWE, and NXT and AEW, like, I think it's every day. I think there's something every day almost. And
Raw on Mondays, NXT's on Tuesday. Wednesday is Dynamite. What's Thursday?
Impact's Thursday, if I'm not mistaken.
Impact Thursday.
I think Impact is Thursday. Yep.
Friday SmackDown.
Yep.
And Saturday is in Collision. Right. And then Sunday,
SmackDown on Friday.
Right. And on Sundays, well, not every Sunday now, but the pay-per-views, the PLEs.
AEW will have a pay-per-view on Sunday. Now WWE will have pay-per-views on Saturday, and AEW Rampage is on after SmackDown on Friday.
Exactly.
It's just so much. It's like, you can't. I mean,
Exactly. Like, listen, I'm a nerd, but I have a damn life. Okay, I have a job. I have things I need to do. So, 100%. I think it's overly saturated. Yeah. Now, competition is a great thing for the fan base. Yep. It's great, but it also gets to the point where it's sort of like repeating itself. Now, we're not reliving the same WCW, WWF days. It's not the same. It's not at the same level. Obviously, the market is different. The appeal is different. But
we get the old head. We get the old head comments probably from people. Well.
Yeah,
it's the truth.
Exactly.
It's the truth.
And
deal with it. Go ahead.
Product wise, as far as wrestling, AEW is pumping out ridiculous matches, like great stuff. With all that said, AEW is much better than WCW ever was as far as content and in-ring skills and all that. However, WCW was still more exciting to watch than AEW. And I absolutely love AEW. Like you can't say a bad thing about it other than, they take their constant shots at WWE like all the time.
I think it's
all the time.
Yeah, like I think it gets a little unnecessary. I'm trying to watch AEW. I'm not trying to hear about oh, you sports entertainers. Like look,
Right.
come
Like
on,
the whole
guys.
point we're watching AEW is because we've had enough of WWE. Exactly. You got the show done. Exactly. So now, with that said, I think that Tony Khan and Triple H, or rather Endeavor, or whoever the hell is running things back there now, they need to collaborate, man. They need to make this real for the fans. I understand that it's a competing business, but use each other. Like the AEW has the whole Forbidden Door thing. It wouldn't be difficult for them to just say, here's an actual Forbidden Door. Let's see who walks through it. And then MJF is out there one night on the mic. Lights come on, hints at the Forbidden Door. The mist comes out. Have an exchange on the mic. Tell me that wouldn't be one of the greatest promos you've ever seen.
Oh, it'd be amazing. I'd freak out, dude. If we were at your spot and we saw that, we would freak. We would
lose our minds. We would lose our goddamn minds.
Are you kidding me? Yeah, of course. Of course.
Like, it's not that difficult to put that together. Like, as far as I know, Chris Jericho is on good terms with WWE. Not that he would ever come back, but dude, an appearance here, there. You don't have to talk about AEW. You don't have to mention it. You just go back and recall your history there and then go back.
Yeah.
Same thing the other way. Like, if Jericho, like, the whole thing with Sting right now would have much more gravitas if there had ever been an actual history from WWE.
That's true.
But like, Sting, as good as he is, it's just not Sting anymore. So kind of
still good to see Sting, but you're right. I mean, I just want to bridge back here because this always comes up when in these episodes. We, us millennials, we grew up. This isn't bragging. This is just we grew up. We came up in the hottest period of pro wrestling.
Yeah.
I don't know what to explain it more than that. Like, when we were kids or babies, the golden age with Hogan and Savage and Ultimate Warrior and Jake the Snake Roberts and early Undertaker and the Hart Foundation. That was Andre, and that segued into Andre the Giant. You could just name people left and right. Roddy Piper, you know what I mean? Like, and then that segued into the Bret and Shawn Michaels era, Razor Ramon, Diesel, and then over in WCW you had Sting going on, you had Vader, everything, and then that all segued into. I'm obviously missing some names, but you know what I'm saying.
Oh, of course.
Yeah, like, and then that segued to the freaking Attitude Era and the Monday Night Wars, like flipping back and forth between Monday Night Raw and WCW Nitro, and then you have ECW on Saturday nights at like 1 a.m. Like, it's something where you had to be. So when we talk about that, like, it's just there's a reason why 20 something years later people still talk about it. It was a different period of time. It was absolutely insane. The apex hottest period you could, like, you're seeing these people still workable somewhere on the back end of their prime, but in wrestling years, I mean, Hogan was in his mid to late 40s, but like in pro wrestling years, like, that's actually not that crazy. You know what I mean? Like, Hall and Nash, we're flipping watching Sting, take on the NWO and then flip back and seeing Austin stun McMahon and then The Rock come out and then Mick Foley and DX. Like, it's just
it was aptly named a war because it was. We were switching channels back and forth.
We we did that. Like, they're not joking around. Like, that's actually what happened. I remember, like, it would be like, let me think what Raw would be like. It was originally, before Raw was 2 hours, WCW Nitro was 3 hours. So I remember, like, Raw, Raw, I would watch WCW, then flip over to Raw, and then Raw will be ending, but I'd be flipping over. I'd just be flipping back and forth.
Yeah.
Like, we all did that. Then when it became 3 hours, like, it was just like...
It was just even worse. It was even worse,
it's crazy.
Man.
It's crazy. So, not to go on a tangent there, but,
No, not a tangent at all, man. Just feel free to vent, because I feel the same way. And honestly, I wish I had that feeling nowadays.
We're spoiled.
I wish I had that feeling nowadays. I love wrestling and I love everything that's happening too. Like I said, I'm somewhat of a purist when it comes to that sense. You know this. I appreciate in-ring work above everything else. You know,
all day. Yo, so let's just start to interrupt you, but just to say right here, it's to the point where like we'll break down matches while watching it. Like, like that. Oh, the ring psychology right now, like they're killing it right now. Oh, they botched right there. Like you can literally see them whispering into the like you can tell like literally breaking it down.
Yeah,
like
to the point where you're calling the next things they're going to do in order to keep the person safe in case there's a problem.
Exactly. Yep. You do it all the time. Yep.
Exactly.
Sure.
Exactly. I remember pointing out after Daniel Bryan's injury, when he wrestles, his style is a little different because he's protecting himself a lot more.
I remember that.
And you can literally tell in his wrestling.
When he was using his hand, when he was doing the moves that he used to do.
Exactly. Like, instead of landing straight on his neck, now he breaks his fall. Now it doesn't look the same, but now he's safer. Just like Ric Flair. Ric Flair doesn't take straight back bumps. You know, he would always turn to the side, especially when he gets backdropped. That's because of the plane accident. And so he can't. That's what I'm saying. The great ones adjust, and you appreciate great in-ring work, and that for me is what counts. So for me, obviously being good on the mic and everything is important, but if you cannot go in the ring, if you are not able to captivate me, if you can't keep my attention watching you work, then you are just not worth my time. Damn. I have said this several times. You know this, and I will back it up till the day that I die. John Cena is not a good wrestler. Okay? My gosh. John Cena may be a great guy, which I have some doubts according to different sources. Ask Ryback. Just ask Ryback. Ask Ryback. He'll tell you. But John Cena could not wrestle his way out of a paperback. Did he improve? Did he improve? Absolutely. But you cannot name one single match, okay? Not one, where he was the general and he carried it. Any great matches he's had, it's because he was carried by somebody else.
All right, I have a rebuttal. All right, I have a rebuttal. Okay, sometimes I think you're being... All right, so our fellow crew member, Carlton, who's on this call right now, loves John Cena. And we always, Serg and Carlton always, you two always kind of like spar in regards to this. I actually find myself, when I hear this, I find myself kind of like in the middle a lot. I think where I fall is that everyone knows my opinion. A lot of younger people, and I just want to say, by the way, John Cena is our era. When John Cena came up, this is while we were younger, when we were like in high school and everything like that. Yep. This is, like, we saw John Cena rise up. It's not like
hated him then.
Yeah, it's not like we're just like not knowing about John Cena. We saw him as he like came up. I saw him like 2006, 7, 8, like all that stuff at his apex, right? So, I just say he's not as big a star as The Rock, Austin, and Hogan were. That's all I say.
That's just clear fact. That's just, there's nothing to argue there.
But people will argue that. People will argue that. I think that's a little crazy. But if people want to, after those three, and you want to take a little bit of a step, actually, I think Ric Flair's bigger too. After that, maybe Taker and Andre the Giant Cena. If you want to have a conversation with that, I don't know. That's all I say. But in terms of his ring work, I don't know about wrestling. Can't wrestle his way out of a paper bag.
Okay,
sir.
so.
Okay,
so below average at best. Below average at best. The man went through a table feet first. Okay? I've never seen John Cena take a decent bump.
All right, go more in depth.
Can't even do a leg drop properly.
Oh my gosh.
And this is the same argument I will also give. Now, this is not to say that I hold Bret Hart in the same tier as John. Right. While Bret Hart is still one of the greatest ever, Bret Hart wrestled the same match his entire career. So, obviously, he never hurt anybody. He was a great worker. Yep. Very, very safe, fantastic.
Efficient.
Exactly. You could watch him. He was graceful in his movement and everything. Yep. But I think I told you this over text not too long ago. Yeah. Bret Hart never did much for me as far as in-ring work.
All right. Serg, I'm going to sit back. You're about to just drop take after take after take. So we got John Cena can't wrestle his way out of a paper bag. Now you're coming at arguably like a Mount Rushmore in-ring performer.
I said with a caveat, because I know he's great. I know he's still one of the best ever. I'm just saying that if you look at the quality, like great, obviously great worker, very safe, all of you want.
Classic matches.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Tons of classic matches. And I will always put that above anybody else.
Right.
You know, like this
the respect is there. The respect is there. You're not 100%. The respect is there.
He has room to be up there with in the Mount Rushmore for people. That I have no problem with that. Mm-hmm. In my personal experience, okay, from me growing up watching wrestling, from me being a purist.
Right.
Again, I don't hold him in the same tier as John, but he just doesn't do it for me.
He just hasn't done it for you. Okay.
He just like it's like it's almost bland, almost repetitive.
Okay.
You know, like again, you could say the same thing for Ric Flair. Ric Flair pretty much wrestles.
That is something that Ric Flair has. I've heard feedback about Ric Flair for that throughout multiple people I've met, other wrestling fans throughout my life. Mm-hmm.
Perhaps the biggest example for me was Hulk Hogan.
Mm-hmm.
Hulk Hogan, in my mind, is not a wrestler. He is a character. Mm-hmm. He had a moment where he was doing actual technical work. If you actually go back and watch his Japan videos, exactly, you can see that he was doing that, but he was forced into doing that because that's how Japan worked.
Right.
Japan worked very technical or strong style.
Yeah.
Hogan he had to adapt to it. He never brought it to the States. Mm-hmm. Aside from him hulking up and body slamming under a giant, what's outstanding about Hulk?
Okay, fair enough. You're talking about
Electra. Great, Electra. Correct.
You're talking about it. Obviously there's the aura, the character. You're talking about from a pure wrestling standpoint. What's the big deal? I got you.
The Cold War. We needed a hero.
Oh
okay?
My gosh.
We needed that is 100% how his character came out. America needed a figure.
A real American.
To look at. A real American. And Hulk Hogan was born. Now, again, we're not talking about his character because you already know how I feel about his character as a person.
Of course.
But again, it's one of those things.
Mm-hmm.
Even to the point of him working with Shawn. Well, yes, again, the character doesn't count. The fact that Shawn had to resort to that.
Oh, the overselling moment?
Yeah. Because it speaks to the entire story, because Hulk would not take a dive with him. Hulk would not put Shawn over on that.
Would put him over. Mm-hmm.
Why? Why? Yeah. Shawn was immensely hot at that time. It was the right thing to do. At that point, your era had long come and gone, buddy.
Mm-hmm.
What was so difficult about that? And I'm sure there's going to be like specific nuances that people are going to bring up, but the fact of the matter is that if you're going to be a professional, you're going to work. And you're going to work and do what's best for the business.
Right.
And then Shawn Michaels did the one thing he could do at that time and made him look like a goddamn fool.
Yeah, I think that if I recall correctly, I think the story goes that and correct me if I'm wrong here, man. I believe that they were supposed to have a rematch where Shawn goes over, but by the time the match at SummerSlam took place, that wasn't going to happen. And it was just going to be that match all of a sudden.
Yep.
And that goes into the, we've all heard the dirt sheets and the rumors and the rumblings about Hogan's backstage politics.
Yep.
And everything like that. So with HBK resorting to that during that match, it kind of makes you think like, that probably odds are it probably was on point, because there is no question he went out of his way to make Hogan looked like a complete and doofus in that match.
That was also remnants of Shawn Michaels being a prick, because there's also reports from that.
Yep. He went back to his old. He went back to He was obviously he was Reformed Christian Shawn Michaels in 2005 when that match happened. But in that match, he definitely, I guess, it's I will say this: you got to be a real asshole to make a Reformed Christian go back to how he was in his prior days. We're like, I don't give a F. I'm just gonna I'm just gonna act like an idiot and oversell the hell out of this match.
Exactly. And you know that for me that holds no water in that argument because I don't care. But the fact that Shawn would do that, like, regardless of, from that point on, Shawn has been nothing but a professional.
Of course.
Consummate professional, and to resort to that. But going back to it, yes. So John Cena, you can't give me a match where the person that he was wrestling wasn't, a clear good worker.
So here's the caveat you said with that with John Cena and his wrestling. I noticed you said, because we can obviously point to great matches John Cena's had. The caveat is you said ring general. You said where he has been the one leading, not you're probably saying that with the matches that he's had, they've been good because the other person has carried him. Has been the ring general, has given him, has given him the notes, given him the material to, to have the path to a great match. And to be fair, I will say John Cena is competent to do that, right?
100%. So and I think you've heard me say this. I've loosened up a lot on John over the years. Because no matter what I say, the man improved tremendously from
U.S. title challenge run. Is that what did it? U.S. title challenge run. Exactly. That was impressive.
Because at that point he was working with everybody, and there were some matches there where you could see it's okay, I can get this. This man is starting to adapt and work. It's not that I necessarily needed to see John Cena do a hurricanrana because he tried it that one time and it was awful, but he tried it.
Right.
He tried a stunner. He almost killed somebody. Whatever. Point is that that I've loosened up a lot on John Cena, but the fact of the matter remains that is you cannot name a single match that's iconic where the other person wasn't a great wrestler.
All right, I got one. Okay, but it's not iconic though. It's in John Cena lore. It's considered a good match. What about John Cena versus Umaga? What about John Cena versus Umaga, man?
You might have a case there. You might have a case there, but you're also talking about Umaga.
I'm just saying, Umaga was awesome. He was a great, rest in peace. He was a great monster. He was intimidating. He was awesome.
What do you remember most from that match? Exactly.
Umaga.
Exactly.
I almost said Umanga because of
Umanga.
Because of Regal. But no, Umaga. Yeah. I'm just saying, but that could be one. I'm really trying. I'm really reaching here.
The best one that I can come up with is his match against Brock, where the whole Suplex City thing started.
At 2012. In 2012, Extreme 2012. That was good. That's a good one.
And this is coming from a guy that absolutely hates Brock Lesnar.
Oh boy, that's another one. I want to go into that. I just realized Brock Lesnar. Oh my gosh.
Mm-hmm.
Brock Lesnar is a different. It's interesting because I like Brock Lesnar. I think Brock Lesnar is great, but you have been critical of Brock Lesnar throughout. If there's nothing else, Serg, you are consistent. You are consistent. You don't bend. You do not bend for whatever. You are consistent. I remember I'm talking about Brock Lesnar, but back to Cena for 1 second. I remember one of our earlier episodes. I think basically you were naming people left and right who you would take over Cena. You were naming him in your opinion like it was nothing. I think you got to 20 people. It was pretty not even breaking a sweater thinking. You were just going boom, 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 and I was like, damn, all right. But Brock Lesnar, however, I think Brock Lesnar has had some pretty classic matches. But you have been critical about Brock Lesnar throughout his tenure in overall in WWE.
Yep.
So can you go a little more into that as to why because I know you won't just you won't just just blabber stuff out to blabber it. Go in depth as to why you are critical about Brock Lesnar's work in WWE, and after that, has he done anything in your eyes to kind of lessen those critiques? lately?
So, yeah, to answer that question in different parts, yes, he's definitely improved. He's doing a lot better work now, putting people over and all of that. Mm-hmm. But one of the things that has always bothered me about Brock is that, and I'm willing to let this slide because he was young at the time, but the way he would work people, early in his career, he was stiff. He was an asshole. He hurt people. Even though Hardcore Holly has said, like, oh, listen, that's in the past, he broke Hardcore Holly's neck. Mm-hmm. And then kicked him while he was still down. Mm-hmm. So I can't. When you purposely hurt somebody else, that's a problem. If it's an accident, I can let it slide. But if you're careless, you hurt somebody. That's why I hate Goldberg. Goldberg has, in my mind, has always been trash. Mm-hmm. Goldberg shouldn't be a professional wrestler. Brock refused to work with Bray Wyatt because the whole Bray Wyatt gimmick wouldn't look good for his tough guy persona. That's what he said.
Now, I will say, I want to add, do you think that, now, hold up. Do you think there could be some truth to that, or do you think that's more disrespectful to Bray Wyatt? Do you think that's more Brock being like, you're not on my level, Bray Wyatt, or is that Brock actually thinking about his character and that it wouldn't mesh and wouldn't do good for the audience, right? Anything with that, or
how can an already established wrestler of 20 plus years who has won every title, who ended the goddamn streak, okay? Who ended the streak,
of the Undertaker,
would refuse to work with who was arguably the hottest comeback at the time. Fair enough. He needed to do was just play to the fact that he was shaken by the whole thing. That's it. As a professional, that is your job. That's what you have to do.
I got you. I know what you're saying. So let me break it down. And correct me if I'm wrong, if I'm going the wrong way here. You're saying, okay, you don't want your tough guy act to be worked out. That's fine. I mean, to be hit, that's cool. Be a tough guy, but you can't. You can still put him over. Like you can still be a little frightened at times. Like he did that. Right. I will say, Serg, he did that a couple times with the Undertaker. He did.
Yeah. Okay.
He spooked a couple times.
So what is it? The Undertaker is well, I mean, obviously he's in a different tier than Bray, but what? So it's okay to play the gimmick to the Undertaker because it means you're going to get the streak, but when you have nothing to gain from facing Bray, it's just not worth it. Like, what is it? If you're gonna do something, be consistent about it.
Right.
And the fact that I cannot watch, like, dude, I can watch his matches and I can count in two hands the amount of different moves this man does.
His matches,
we did it one time.
2012.
Yeah.
Or like his whole career.
Overall. I mean, maybe not early on, because early on he was more willing to try other stuff. But like his matches are what? Clothesline, German suplex, couple suplexes, F5, maybe a couple body slams.
The shoulder.
Great. This man is the equivalent of the 5 moves of Doom, but for the whole match. At least Cena would drag out a match and do other things, even though he wasn't very good at them. But the whole point is that you are supposed to be a professional, and just because you think your persona would be hurt by simply working with another guy who is hot or was hot at the time, like what kind of professional are you that you can't do that? Like Bray was the hottest thing going. Like even his return, like people lost their minds. Like everybody thought, oh man, one of the best things they had going. Exactly, in Philly. Yeah. And then you're like, oh, I refuse to work with him because I don't think it looks good. And then that leads to some crappy matches with Bobby Lashley. And
that's another one.
Another one. So that's what I'm saying. They all fall into that category. And
okay. All right. Well,
I've never been more bored in my life than watching Lashley fight Omos. Like,
I will say, like, I think no disrespect, like I want to say I like Lashley. I think Lashley's awesome. I thought the Hurt Business was great, and I didn't want the Hurt Business to break up. And I'm intrigued as to what's formulating with the Street Profits and Lashley right now and everything. I'm intrigued as to what's going on there. I will say that. So, but we're going to get into a lot here. We're an hour in, and like we're getting into a lot of juicy material here, bro.
All the wrong people get the push. All the wrong people get the push.
Okay. You're saying all the wrong people get the push, but who do you think should get the push then?
So listen, you already know who my biggest case for that is, and it's complete heresy. It's blasphemy. The Dolph Ziggler never got his due.
You and Dolph Ziggler, man. You are a Dolph Ziggler stan, dude. You love.
I am a stan for good workers. That man outsells anybody. I don't care who you flop in there.
We always made a joke. We always said like we want RVD versus HBK versus Dolph Ziggler. Did we miss anyone else versus The Rock? No, RVD. Yeah. Did we wait?
Yeah,
RVD,
it was Dolph Ziggler, RVD,
Shawn Michaels.
It's just a bunch of people. It's just Flop City.
Those main three, just like
Flop City, dude. It would be
super kicks.
You would think people died in that ring.
Bouncing off everywhere. Yeah, man, I got you.
Just watch him take an RKO, and tell me that man isn't dead when he lands. Like you.
So you think Dolph Ziggler has been, he's a former world champion, Money in the Bank winner. He stayed around in WWE for years. Do you think he has been disrespected considering? Do you think he's still underrated, and do you think he's been disrespected considering his ring work and his accolades in WWE? You think he should be way higher than what he is right now?
100%. The man got the one run with the Money in the Bank, cashed it, ended up getting hurt, and the one time, I think he's only been hurt in his entire career once or twice. That took a significant amount of time. They never brought him back, and unfortunately, as of now, it looks like he will forever be a mid-carder that outperforms everybody he's in the ring with. I don't care what anybody says. Look at any match from Dolph Ziggler. You may not like some of the characters that they've given him, some of the characters he's developed. That man built himself up from the Spirit Squad. Okay?
And Spirit Squad. That's a good point. The Spirit Squad. To survive the Spirit Squad.
Exactly.
Gotta get some props there.
Another squad that John Cena decimated. We're not going to talk about the Nexus right now because that's also a huge.
Oh, that's a whole other episode.
Point.
That's a 3 hour. That's a 3 hour.
Yeah.
If we go into that. Jesus
Dolph Ziggler, dude, that man that needs a run. When he had a feud with Dean at the time, Dean Ambrose, Jon Moxley now. That promo he cut about just getting that one shot, and he's like, and just when you think you've beaten me, I am down on the ground. I will pull out one more move, and then he kicks Dean. Dude, like chills I got when he did that promo. Like the man can talk, the man can wrestle. He's a great worker. Like
Dolph Ziggler, this is your biggest fan right here.
100%. 100%. I met him when we were in LA, and really cool guy, even though he was a little drunk. But yeah, he was still courteous. He was kind. Another highly underrated and terribly misused was Cesaro. Claudio Castagnoli now.
I agree. That's been talked about. Even Stone Cold Steve Austin himself, GOAT tier.
They dropped the ball.
Stone Cold literally brought that up to Vince McMahon. Like, if you got Stone Cold bringing that up, like GOAT tier level wrestler bringing that up to Vince McMahon, why hasn't Cesaro? What else needs to be said? Because we all were saying it. We're like, he's one of the strongest wrestlers that's ever been in the industry. He is
Pound
one
for
of the best
pound,
workers
literally,
around.
pound for pound,
But
one of the strongest wrestlers.
right. But what is it like? I guess like the characterization. I know, like I don't know.
So he doesn't. Honestly, the biggest thing for that I've noticed for most people is your mic skills. Mm-hmm. I think that if you can't talk on the mic, no matter how good you are in the ring, they won't give it to you. Mm-hmm. Unless you get over in some ridiculous way, you know, aka
or have an enforcer, you have a talker like
aka Roman Reigns.
Right.
So that's another thing. But if you put somebody like, if you give him a mouthpiece, a really good mouthpiece, then Cesaro could have run that entire company. Yeah. You know, like.
I will say, imagine Cesaro with a did they try? Forgive me, it's been a while. Did they try it with Heyman, but it didn't really develop? Either it's a Heyman, like if they put him with a Heyman or like a mic piece, like a like a Ellering, like a good manager, a good manager to just be like, you know, this is my guy. He's going to destroy you. He's going to beat you because he's that damn good. Yep. Done. That's all you really need to do with him. It wasn't. I think people were thinking too much with Cesaro / Claudio. Like he, you know, and that's not to say he still couldn't be bigger than what he is now. He's incredible. He's in incredible shape and one of the best workers around. So you know, his story isn't finished yet. His book isn't closed yet. So, but you know, I will agree with you in regards to Cesaro because we always talked about him like he always had the top tier matches on the card. He's always consistent. Always doing awesome moves. Got the crowd engaged. Like he's one of those workers where like his wrestling can talk. His in-ring ability does his talking.
Exactly.
He doesn't have to talk. His in-ring ability can do the talking.
And then he got himself over, and the crowd was way behind him, and nothing. Absolutely nothing.
Right.
So I do believe you're correct that there was a point where they tried something with Paul Heyman. And I want to say that it lasted maybe 2 months, and you hardly ever saw him.
Right.
And then they're like, "Oh, hey, you're gonna team up with Sheamus and just be weird for a few months and tag team title." And look, nothing. And now he's somewhere else, and where arguably you could say he's doing better. He's still not used to his full potential. Like there are so many options. Like,
You're saying he should be like, honestly, too long didn't read. Like, Cesaro should be a world champion. That's basically what we're getting at. He's 100%. He's good enough. He's good enough, talented enough. He has the in-ring prowess, like to be a champ and to be a champ, not a transitional champ. He's a champ for like 3 weeks. Like be a champ for like have a good reign. Like be a champ for like 5 months and plus. You know.
Exactly.
So I agree with that.
Given the title to somebody like him opens up the possibilities of who he can work with and what kind of matches can be put together. Because otherwise, you're just recycling the same bogus match over and over and over again. Brock Lesnar and Cody.
Okay. All right. Segue. So we got SummerSlam coming up next week. And one of the big matches, as you just said, is you were talking about Brock Lesnar. Brock Lesnar versus Cody Rhodes. As we all know, Cody Rhodes I don't care. I still can't believe he left AEW to go to WWE. Like, I know it makes sense, but I still cannot believe he did that. Mm-hmm. And you know, but you know, it's he's been here for a while now. So, you know, he loses at WrestleMania, which we'll go into a little bit later, man. We'll talk about our WrestleMania trips. But you know, I'll just a little preview here. When he lost to WrestleMania, the crowd, we both agree they had a chance. WWE, it was right there. It was right there, and you know, that's another conversation. But
oh god,
okay, he's not the champion, right? So what are they gonna do? He has to go through hard times, right? So they put him against Brock Lesnar. He's had 2 matches against Brock Lesnar. His third one will be at SummerSlam. Serge, what are your thoughts on all that?
Bullshit. That's my thoughts on that. Listen, you had like you know this. You were there. You were sitting next to me and at WrestleMania when we were there. You had the absolute most amazing, perfect build-up to a story to end the tyrannical reign of Roman Reigns as champion.
Yep.
And you choose to swerve on the hottest, white hot, molten lava, center of the universe hot babyface Cody Rhodes.
Yep.
And then you swerve by giving Roman the title by having him retain in a shitty way.
All right, I want to pause on that for 1 second because I know I want to mention it, like we talk about it later, but since we're just talking about this, the crowd, we were right there in that arena. I have at any wrestling event I've ever been to, outside the Attitude Era, I have never seen so many shirts for a wrestler as there was for Cody Rhodes outside of the Bloodline. Outside the Bloodline shirts, there was a lot of Bloodline shirts at where we were at, what we saw going into Mania in LA. But the crowd was completely ready. It was Cody Rhodes night. It was signed up for it.
Yep.
It was completely. And when that moment in that match where Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn like block off the Bloodline interfering, the Usos, and then Cody Rhodes, he hits. And
you're like, this is it. This is it.
The crowd, I am telling you, Serg, you can back me up. I know you don't BS around. You would tell me if I'm wrong. If Cody Rhodes were to pin Roman, that might have been. It was building up so well. That might have been a top 10, maybe top 5, maybe top 3 WrestleMania pop of all time.
I am willing to say it would have been the loudest pop in history.
I'm not trying to, I'm not like, I'm just being honest. I'm not, I'm saying that we, like the build up, the atmosphere, the crowd was so ready. Like, not to be explicit, but the crowd, WWE, you blue balled the audience. And they knew it. They did.
Okay. It's fair to give a little bit of context here. We were also maybe a little bit more invested in this because we traveled to Dallas the year before and we saw him come back, and it's like the prodigal son, comes back to claim the title he never won, the title his father never held, like all of these things. He works the whole year, amazing. Gets injured, still puts on a great match.
Yep.
Which by the way, that injury, well, it was bad. It wasn't as awful as they made it out to.
Of course.
To be. With and you could tell the makeup and everything. Yeah. So that's fine. But he still did get hurt and he did have to take time off. But then you come back to the company that shunned you, okay? To the company that said no, you will never make it, after going somewhere else, building a company from scratch, a company that rivals WWE now. And then he leaves that company due to creative differences because he wants to be in control of his character. He comes to WWE. I find it hard to believe that he doesn't negotiate a title run in his contract. With all that said, you're building up this babyface, and this goes to, if you've ever been to a WWE event and it gets to that point of like something that everybody wants to see, it truly really is electric. It's electricity in the air that's building up, and it's sort of like this herd mentality. And we were there at SoFi Stadium and we're watching it, and after everything that happened the night before, like Sammy and Owens getting the tag belts,
beating the Usos,
and just like massive pop for that. Like amazing, absolutely amazing work from the Usos, all of that. And it's getting ready to like finally come to a head. It's like in writing, there's something called the hero's journey, and every movie has this. So you've come full circle. You're at the absolute apex moment where Cody winning is life-changing, okay? It completely rewrites history. And then you blue ball.
It's a shift. It's a shift.
Exactly. And then you blue ball the audience on the second night on the main event at WrestleMania. And the best you give me is not a run back at Roman, who hasn't shown up for almost nothing. But then you give me Brock Lesnar 3 times in a row. Yeah.
Brock Lesnar, Cody.
The bluest balls you have ever seen in your life. And they hurt.
Oh my gosh. So you're not feeling Cody Rhodes versus Brock Lesnar like Cody Rhodes versus Seth. You're not feeling the trilogy with this.
Why? Are we gonna see anything different from Brock and Cody that we haven't already seen? Is anything gonna happen? Anything short of Cody just beating the living shit out of Brock and winning cleanly? Nothing is going to change.
Wow, Serg, with you just saying that, SummerSlam, I kind of would. Oh my gosh, that I don't think they would ever do that, but that would be shocking if it was the other way around, and Cody dominates Brock Lesnar and completely wipes. That would be shocking. There is no chance in hell that's gonna happen. Watch it happen, but no,
if Cody goes Super Saiyan and destroys
10 crossroads.
Exactly. Destroys Brock Lesnar and wins, then it justifies the build from WrestleMania.
Right.
That is the only way, at least I see, that making sense.
Okay.
Anything short of that is just wasted time, because you are never going to get that same white hot babyface moment for Cody.
I remember after I actually recorded some commentary after that L that Cody took, and I was just going through. I'm not sure you heard me, but I was like, they said no to Cody tonight. They said, hell no, you're coming in from AEW and getting our title, and not tonight. I was like, damn, they completely just took the rug from under you, bro. That was.
It's man. Come on, man.
It's interesting because obviously Cody Rhodes should win this match. No ifs, ands, or buts. Anything less is ridiculous. It makes no sense at all. None at all. There is no way that Brock Lesnar should win this match. I want to repeat, at SummerSlam 2023, there is no reason for Brock Lesnar to win against Cody Rhodes. None at all.
None whatsoever.
Brock Lesnar is completely he's cemented. It serves no purpose. Brock Lesnar will not be hurt by losing to Cody Rhodes. Cody Rhodes has been built up as a threat. He had the I guess you want to say the fortunate win against him, and then he passed out, taking on Brock Lesnar. Now it's time for Cody Rhodes to beat Brock Lesnar. It's fine. Brock Lesnar will lose no momentum at all. Brock Lesnar could lose 5 times in a row, and then next year be the world champion, and nobody would blink an eye. But it is. Brock Lesnar is cemented. It's time for Cody Rhodes came back for a reason. Serg, you and I believe they missed the boat at WrestleMania big time. Mm-hmm. But with them doing that, they have little room for error, and there is no way that Cody Rhodes should lose to Brock Lesnar. So I think we're both in agreement there. Cody, in fact, I wouldn't mind if Cody Rhodes, I'm not sure it should be complete utter domination, but if Cody Rhodes is just on this game and, after a hard fought match beats Lesnar clean, no issue, couple crossroads, Lesnar kicks out, picks him up and does the third one and wins.
Yeah,
there's nothing wrong with that. Why not?
It should be the moment of he's almost defeated, he's tired, Brock goes for the F5, and suddenly he turns it into a crossroads, and then he ties that into 2 more crossroads.
Exactly.
And Brock Lesnar kicks out, and Brock goes for the F5. It looks like he's gonna hit it. Cody lands on his feet, does it again, crossroads. It's got to be that moment of holy crap, where is Cody Rhodes getting this from? That way, Brock Lesnar doesn't lose anything. Even if he got dominated by Cody, he doesn't lose anything. And Cody gains all that heat.
Yep.
All that love again.
Yep.
Like.
Yep.
Otherwise, it just makes absolutely no sense for Cody to not have a run at this title. Because what's next? What's next after this?
You know, it's interesting you say that. You know, I really hope. So clearly, I was talking with with Brandow about this actually. Shout out to Brandow. I think that with Jay taking on, the Bloodline storyline, also another SummerSlam match, Roman Reigns versus Jey Uso, Tribal Combat. I've been liking the Bloodline storyline a lot, actually. It's so long, it's so damn long that it has some pitfalls, but it's like there have been a couple times where it's been saved. Sami Zayn, Serg, as you mentioned last year. Sami Zayn completely saved. He was the MVP last year. He saved that storyline. He injected like adrenaline.
He was the bloodline of the bloodline.
Yeah. But I want to give props to Jay. Jay's like, I'm going to be honest, like Jay's a great example of like if you just give someone a chance and give them the ball, like he's great. I mean, I don't think it's going to happen, but if he became champ, I wouldn't, I think in terms of just like impact, it should be Cody to get the title because of the overall story. I think it's just bigger in terms of that. But the biggest storyline in all of wrestling is the Bloodline storyline, and Jey Uso is, the right hand man turned foe, and he's been integral in some of the best moments of this 3-year long freaking storyline.
Yep.
And I think he's done a good job. I mean, Serg, he's not gonna win. We know he's not gonna. Listen, I hope we're swerved, but come on.
We said the same thing about Cody.
That's true.
There's no way they don't give it to Cody. Oh look.
That's true.
I mean, obviously, it doesn't make sense for Jay to get it because, okay, so what about Jimmy and
it's going to be close.
Where does that fit in? Like.
Yeah, we know it's going to be close. We know that Jay's probably gonna have him beat a couple times, as you tip the same old stuff. You know what I mean? I will say this. I actually didn't expect Roman Reigns to lose to get pinned. I thought Solo was going to get pinned. I did not think that Roman Reigns was going to get pinned. I just did not think that was going to happen.
You mean in the tag
Money
team
in
match?
the Bank. At the tag team match at Money in the Bank, I did
not.
Yeah, no,
I definitely saw
Roman
that.
was going to get pinned.
I definitely saw that because it's
you saw Roman getting pinned.
Absolutely.
Woo! Man.
And then I told it to both Paul and Andy because we were watching it while we were on chat, and because it's the only way that you solidify Jay's legitimacy as a contender. It's like, oh, he pinned Roman, he could do it. Otherwise, there's no like credibility to that. It had to happen.
It had to be. So you're saying, forget about Solo. You're just like they win, they have to pin Roman.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because at that point, obviously, again, I think that he's not going to win. I hope I'm wrong, but
you got to give the man some momentum. You can't just plop him being
exactly,
like Roman
exactly. Because now there's that doubt, and all you need is that piece of doubt in there to get the audience going. Oh, he could actually win this. That's what makes the match great.
He did it before.
Exactly.
One mistake. Yeah, I got you.
So that's integral to that storyline. With that said, I've been almost right with my storylines before. Just going back to Finn Balor, the past PLE pay-per-view, whatever you want to call it. I called it. I called the Money in the Bank. I called all that down to Finn. I think Finn should have gotten the belt from Seth.
Man, that was a good match. I actually thought, I was like, yo, he's gonna and then at the last second, yup.
I called everything down to that one point because it made perfect sense.
I was texting him. I was like, yo, is this really gonna happen? Like, yeah, man.
It just made so much sense, and
that's an underrated storyline. Like the actual, I remember, we were talking on the phone about that, and the actual, it is kind of true. Like let's talk about Finn Balor versus Seth Rollins, and we both love Seth Rollins. I love Seth Rollins, big Seth Rollins fan. I Finn Balor 7 years ago, people forget this because it's 7 years ago, but he was chosen. He was given the Universal Championship. He won the Universal title, and people forget he pinned Roman Reigns clean to get the title shot. Like he was getting skyrocketed.
They strapped the rocket to that. They
strapped the rocket to that man, and then ever since that injury, he hasn't quite reclaimed it, like that status. It's the truth. There was a lot of real shooting, maybe shooting's too harsh, Serge. I don't know, but you know what I'm saying. There was a lot of real material going into that.
Oh yeah,
it's kind of like Finn Balor's career. He's been obviously relevant and he's done stuff, but where he was supposed to be has not been quite the same since that unfortunate injury, that accident at SummerSlam 2016. So it's interesting, and I think when you and I talked about that. With that said, and this is a testament to Seth Rollins. Seth Rollins is so good, he can lose the title. And he's not going to touch him at all.
Seth is already made. Like it doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter at all.
It's at a point where Seth could shoot small children in the crowd and people would cheer for him.
But he's such a good worker that doesn't. It just doesn't. What I've said. In terms of I like Seth Rollins' way of breaking down Mount Rushmore. He says the drawing Mount Rushmore and the performer Mount Rushmore. And with our group, we all were kind of having we were just do the Vince here. We were man, for the performers, it's kind of more difficult here.
It's difficult.
Because there's so many. And this is a big compliment I'm about to give Seth Rollins. I said, I think Serge, I think you agree or not, I forget, but Seth Rollins is going to make it difficult for me really soon. Someone's going to have to get kicked out of my top 4. And Seth Rollins is that it's getting to that point for me. So Seth Rollins is a great I love Seth Rollins. I think he's a great worker. I think he's been I love his character, as annoying as it is. I think he's made it into something. I love the laugh. I love all that stuff. The eccentricity. He's making it work. And he backs it up in the ring.
Exactly. He's got the skill and everything. I don't know if you recall me telling this to you guys, but when the Shield first formed, I said, I've been watching Seth since Ring of Honor.
Oh, right.
And I said, watch this guy take off from the Shield afterwards and be the guy.
Right.
And I said, Seth is the guy from the Shield to come out. Obviously, Roman made it too, but
of course,
but Seth is the guy.
Right.
Period.
Right.
You can't deny that.
Definitely.
The man flops like nobody else. He's Seth Rollins tier. He's like Dolph Ziggler, Seth Rollins. That's a tier right there.
Right. I think that so when we say this about Seth Rollins and losing the title to Finn, I think that this is a case where if that would have happened amongst their feud and Finn just gets the strap for a little bit, I don't think that it would hurt Rollins at all. I think it would. So and that I know that's why you're he could totally lose and 100%. Especially with everything going with the Judgment Day. The Judgment Day low key, by the way, has been kind of carrying Raw. Low key been killing it. Raw, NXT, they've been doing their thing. Shout out to Damian Priest. Shout out to Rhea Ripley. Shout out to Dominic. Dominic Maniac.
I've been high on Damian for a while now. And
he's been killing it.
Exactly. And then I said, watch this man get that push. And if I'm not mistaken, I'm pretty sure that Triple H is behind him. Triple H likes Damian Priest a lot, and I think that came from that match in Puerto Rico with Bad Bunny.
It was great.
Even though he took somebody that's not a wrestler, he still worked it, made it look good, made him look good.
Carried the utter hell out of him.
And kept him safe.
Kept him safe.
And that is obvious to anybody that knows wrestling. Kept that man safe. So that's the biggest thing. And then it's there. It's there. Put the seed of doubt in the Judgment Day. Everybody's got belts. You know, if my storyline had come through where Finn would have won from Seth Rollins after 7 years, after like the man who injured him, because that I don't blame Seth for that injury. It wasn't his fault. It wasn't his fault, but we're not gonna get into that today.
We debated about that before.
Yeah. Like the whole like 7 years I've been waiting for this. This was taken from me. It was time. The belt is there. That belt is precisely made so that we don't have to worry about Roman Reigns. Like they essentially just said, "Hey, Roman Reigns is gonna hold on to this for a while. I know you hate it, but here's a title to make up for it." So you know, it's the workers' title.
The workers' title. Yep.
Seth doesn't need it. Seth is fantastic. I love him. He's probably my favorite right now, but he doesn't need it.
Right.
Finn, who is
he could use
worker.
It. Yeah.
He could absolutely use it. And then you have Finn as champ and Priest as Money in the Bank. And it's just those moments of like Priest looking at him, looking at the belt. It's there. The storyline is all there, man.
You see Finn being like, okay, where are you going out with this, buddy? I thought we're on the same team, right?
Right.
And of course. Like it's
So like let's say, and I hope this happens because honestly, I don't see it making any kind of sense if Seth wins over Finn this weekend or next weekend at SummerSlam. Finn has to get the belt. Now,
so wow, you think Finn must win?
Yeah, Finn must win.
Wow.
The only other alternative and the only way you make this work for Damian is Edge gets a run. Edge talks about, this is my last run. I need to have belt the gold one more time before I go home to my wife and kids. You know, and then Edge gets the belt from Seth. Just as he gets the belt from Seth, Priest comes out. Takes the belt from Edge. Edge retires as champion, and suddenly monster heat on Priest.
Whew. I know we have these monster heat scenarios. Man, that just a quick sidebar. Serg had a we were hoping that Cody Rhodes won, and at the time Austin Theory was getting like really prepped up and everything like that. And we were saying, what if Austin Theory with the Money in the Bank clashed with Cody Rhodes after winning at Mania? Like that would make him the biggest heel in the company immediately. But that it didn't happen. So
you might as well just have shipped that man to the sun. Right. Like the amount of heat he would have gotten from doing that. Like you get that moment, you give Cody his moment. He wins a title that that his dad never won. He gets it. Bam! Theory comes out, takes it away from him.
Down.
He's champ for 3 minutes at WrestleMania. Like, dude.
Awful. Yup. So yeah, man. Like that friction between Damian Priest and Finn Balor is definitely there, and I've been entertained by the Judgment Day. And I'm gonna be honest. After Edge got kicked out, I was like, there's no way this is gonna. Let's see where this goes. I don't think this is. The odds are that this is going to go much further, and I was wrong. I think that they've done a great job. By the way, everybody, we watch wrestling for a long time. We can admit when we're wrong, and sometimes it's rare, but but no, it's I will admit that I have shut up with the Judgment Day. They definitely made it a separate faction from Edge and have evolved into their own thing. Like Dominic Mysterio is arguably the most over heel in the company right now. Arguably, he's getting that Vicky Guerrero heat. He
is the Nickelback of WWE. He just gets hate for no reason. Like people just love to hate him. It's
oh my gosh,
it's insane.
Let's go to another match. Serg. SummerSlam. What do you think about Ricochet versus Logan Paul? It's just going to be a singles match. I don't think there's anything else really. It's probably just going to be a crazy match with high spots. We know we're getting with this one.
No gimmickies? No gimmicky match, nothing?
That's good.
Right?
I mean, unless it changes on Monday night. which it still could.
Yeah.
Which unless it changes tomorrow night. Yeah.
Honestly, my gut says that a gimmicky match between them would probably be the way to go. However, it also makes sense that if you put them in a regular match, then they can both shine on in-ring work other than just relying on the fact that they can do high spots.
Right.
With that said, I like Logan Paul.
Logan Paul's been killing it.
Up until the point where he showed up in WWE, I didn't know who he was. Like legitimately, I didn't know he was a huge, insanely famous YouTuber.
Yeah, huge YouTuber.
To this day, I have not seen a single video from him. Like it never comes across my stuff because I just don't watch that kind of stuff.
Right.
And honestly, like, and you've seen, you've heard me say like, who is that? And you're like, stop, you have to know who that is. I'm like, I truly, genuinely, if I say I don't know who that is, it's just because I sincerely do not know. But the one thing I can say is that he's put in the work, man. He's got innate talent. He has something there, and he can do something with it. I hope that he's not just like, oh hey, I came in, I did my thing. What's the dream as a kid? Woo! Now I'm done, and then just kind of leave. Which has been the case in the past for the people that came in. He can go. He can absolutely go. And obviously we all know how good Ricochet is. And I think that has potential to be
steal the show.
To steal the show. So? Yeah.
Okay.
I think that the real focus of that show is going to be Jay and Roman because of just pure storyline power alone.
Yeah.
I don't think that technically that's going to be the best match of the night. I think that Logan and Ricochet can put on a clinic of just like, man, I'm seeing a side of both of these guys I've never seen before, which is to shine in technical wrestling, in ring work.
Right.
Rather than just like relying on like, hey, let me do, 2 flips and all that, which is amazing. I love that. Don't get me wrong. I don't hate high flyer stuff. Like, how there are people that go, oh, you just like gimmicky, flippy flop, all that. No.
Flippy floppy.
Right. Yeah. Stop that. That's amazing. But it'll give them a chance to shine something that they don't normally get to show. So, with that said, I think Logan Paul wins.
Okay. We got, I think for that match, that's one of those matches where I think it's just like, I'm excited just to see the match. I think that I don't, either way, I think that I'm happy that Ricochet has a high profile match at a paper at like basically they tout SummerSlam as the WrestleMania of the summer. If I would think if Royal Rumble isn't, I toggle between SummerSlam and Royal Rumble, but SummerSlam is an upper tier pay-per-view PLE.
One of the big four.
Yeah, it's one of the big four now. Yeah. And the fact that Ricochet has a match like that big with that's awesome. So I'm just excited to see it. It should be a good match. Another one we got. You know what? You know what? I'll this might be quick or this might be real long here.
Okay.
So in one of our prior episodes, Carlton, I'm not sure you saw, he said Ronda Rousey is the biggest bust in WWE history.
Agreed.
Now, I'm not okay. You agree with that? Okay. She's taking on Shayna Baszler. Do you even care about that match? Do you just want Shayna Baszler to just completely wreck Ronda Rousey and then Ronda Rousey leaves WWE?
Yes.
So that's what you want with that?
100%.
Okay, that's that.
You know that I've never ever liked Ronda. Ever.
Okay, I know for sure.
From the beginning.
I'm the guy that's debated with, I think me and Brand, I've debated with everybody else about this. Like, I just have to really else I have to say more on it, but that's your opinion about it.
Okay, well, hold on, wait a minute. So now we're going to discuss this because I want to hear like what is it? What is it about Ronda? Like,
I think that everyone's been a little too harsh on Ronda. I think that I think she has shown a little bit of improvement. I think the reason why Stephanie McMahon wanted her is because of her perception of Ronda's name value. That's why she wanted her. And I think all things considered, especially the fact that Becky Lynch, Charlotte Flair, and Ronda Rousey main evented WrestleMania. I think in terms of those factors that she did what she had to do. In terms of that, that's just my opinion. I think that, I don't think she's the biggest bust in WWE history. Maybe in some ways in terms of ring performing, maybe there was some, I can see where people would say, there was more to be left desired. I get it. But I think that overall, she pretty much did her job. I think she embraced the business. She didn't disrespect it until she became I think she's done a pretty solid job. But I see the other side. I've talked about this before multiple times. She's about to leave, and it is what it is. But I think she did what she was supposed to do. So
for somebody that's supposed to be a huge name, that's supposed to come in and be a badass, and that somebody that loves this business, there were a lot of buts in your statement of like, oh yeah, she came in and she did what she was supposed to do.
She did.
And it was just like, all things considered, she was okay. No, man, that is not okay. Like just somebody just showing up, it's not enough.
I don't think she just showed up though. I think that she showed her martial arts prowess. She's emphasis on the arm. I think that she did a solid job. I really do. I just don't think of course she got a rocket strapped to her when she came in. There was no going through the ranks. Of course not, because Stephanie McMahon wanted her to come in and completely wreck. Without Ronda Rousey, Becky Lynch and Charlotte Flair don't make it at WrestleMania, in my opinion. They don't have that women's revolution. That was all because Stephanie McMahon's value. That was because of Stephanie McMahon and her outlook on Ronda Rousey. It played a factor into that. And that's not. I'm just saying it is what it is.
So you're saying that all she brought into the business was just star power.
What's wrong with that? That's exactly what she brought in.
Okay, so she brought star power, but to say that without her we wouldn't have the women's revolution, I think that's a little far fetched, because
definitely the main event. That main event, there was no question that WrestleMania that with Ronda Rousey, the triple threat. There's a reason that main evented. Without Ronda Rousey, that's not main eventing. I stand
because
on that.
Of star power, sure. Like if you
there's something to be said with that.
Like if you were to bring in a huge name right now, like if
Conor McGregor, even though
not even like if you were to bring let's say Henry Cavill, like if he's like, I want to take a shot in the ring. You mean to tell me that man wouldn't
Superman versus Roman Reigns?
Exactly. And yet that doesn't make him one of the greatest of all time. The man showed up and did his job. Now that's bullshit. No women's revolution without Ronda. Sure, the star power helped, but that was going to happen one way or the other. Between the four horsemen of the four horsewomen, just between Sasha, Bayley, Becky, and Charlotte. If that Fatal 4-Way match had ever taken place, that would have replaced that Ronda Rousey match. Because let's face it, Charlotte and Becky carried that entire match.
Of course they did. I'm not disputing that. I'm just saying that I think that Ronda Rousey did what she was supposed to do in WWE. That's all. That's just my opinion with it. I don't want to go too far with it. Like we could talk. It could be a. We went to Ronda Rousey. We can get not as bad as Bayley did that one time. Love you, Bayley.
Bayley fell apart. Bayley fell apart, bro.
I think that Ronda Rousey got a little bit better. She tried to, when she was a heel, she tried to embrace it. She didn't just go through the motions. I think that there's some things that she did. I think that I think she really embraced the industry at times, and but she's about to be out. So Shayna Baszler, I agree with you here. I will say this: Shayna Baszler should win. Ronda Rousey should not. She's leaving WWE. She's done. Apparently, I think that's what's going on. She's going out against one of her best friends. She should just lose cleanly, and that's it. Maybe she should even tap, and just leave, and that's it.
They should have just a regular MMA fight in the ring.
So it is what it is with that. So. Next up, we got a match. What do you think about Gunther versus Drew McIntyre for the Intercontinental Championship?
Amazing. That also has tremendous
I think,
power.
I think that has show stealing potential, possibly.
Yeah, once absolutely. I mean, anything with Gunther right now is it's fantastic.
Yeah.
Gunther is my pick for who beats Roman if it isn't Cody.
Wow.
I said this.
Okay.
I said this in WrestleMania in the
you
car.
You have been saying this. You have been saying
I
this.
said Gunther is my pick.
You're
if
saying look
anybody
out for
is going
Gunther.
to dethrone Roman, it's Gunther. And I would love to see it in Philly because we're going to be there. I would absolutely love to see that happen. With that said, Drew McIntyre never got his shine.
Yeah, man.
Unfortunately,
I feel bad
the world
for
fell
Drew
apart.
McIntyre, Serge. I feel Drew. I'm with you, man. I feel Serge. I don't know if you feel the same way, but dude, he had the crowd. Everybody's with him. He had the momentum, and unfortunately, the world fell apart, man. It sucks. It's out of his hands, and it was his time, and it just wasn't. It didn't link up, and it sucks.
Right.
He hasn't been the same since, man. Sucks.
And then there's just like, it's almost sad to see him lift the belt at WrestleMania and there's nobody there.
I know. I know.
His
story was great,
me, man.
His story was great. His story was like coming back, like being completely, being chosen, being one of Vince's guys, and then completely falling off and being in the three-man band. Three-man band, and that was just like kind of it was funny, but kind of like a joke at the same time. And then completely reworking everything, he became jacked, getting completely swole, just completely reworking his character, really doing some self-reflection and just feeding into what makes him him. And I thought his comeback story, and then going back to NXT and redeveloping himself, his story was on point. And then of course out of his hands, and it just the world goes to shit. He has to adapt to it. And I think he did a great job, but unfortunately, it's a shame. There was that one promo, and I hated hearing this, but it's the truth. He said it was against Roman Reigns. He's like, Roman Reigns. I'm not sure if you remember this. He's like, I'm the chosen guy. I'm one. You're two. And I was just like, oh,
yeah.
It's true. It's true. They have and it's just that Roman Reigns is gonna super. It is what it is. It's really rare that a guy matches the top chosen guy. The Rock did it with Austin, as we both agree. It's really rare. He didn't. The Rock never had the booking that Austin had, but he was so over and so a megastar in terms of crossover and with the crowd. It just couldn't be denied.
It worked. You couldn't contain that.
Couldn't contain it. That. I'm trying to think. That's maybe Bret Hart and HBK arguably. It's tough. It's tough.
And that's a maybe there too. So
that's a maybe. That's what I'm saying. I'm really reaching there. I'm really reaching there. So So I just feel bad for
Drew.
For Drew. Obviously he's doing well in life. He's working WWE, but I think he had a chance to be bigger than what he's panned out to be. And even at Clash at the Castle, he had a chance, and that we knew that
Oh my God, that would have been amazing for him.
Yeah, of course. But it is what it is. They know what they want to do with Roman, and
and that's the thing. I don't think any storyline should get to the point where it's a foregone conclusion that we're like, okay, well, we know the outcome. This is what's gonna happen here. It should never get to that point. And
yeah, man.
Again, I love the bloodline. It's a great story that it's taken years to tell. Fantastic. This is the best work that Roman has ever done, and probably the best work he will ever do.
Oh, dude, this is his magnum opus.
Oh yeah,
this is
magnum opus.
The bloodline storyline is Roman Reigns' magnum opus. I will repeat, this is the best of Roman Reigns right now. This is his magnum. When we look back, this is Roman Reigns' masterpiece.
Yeah, absolutely.
It took a while.
This is the run that gets him in the Hall of Fame. This is what will be talked about forever.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
And and he does it while not having to show up, which is great. So it works out.
It works out. Right.
Listen,
he finally, he finally I think we talked about this on one of the other shows that you were on, but like man, I'm happy it did work out, but man, they really, really tried. I'm talking like over half a decade of trying.
Yeah.
And they fought. Thank the wrestling heavens that it worked out in some semblance of this, because man, it was not going to happen. It was not going to be denied. I mean, I'm happy that something worked out.
Just think about it from this perspective, right? It took not even leukemia put this guy over. Okay.
Right. They even talked about that in the documentary. Don't be shocked at what we said. This is in the documentary on Evil. Like they literally pointed this out.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We're all we're all happy you're back and you're safe. Fuck you, Roman. Like that. That's what it was.
That's literally what happened.
Because we were given the John Cena treatment again. Right. And it was just fed down our throats for so long. I still have a screenshot that we were watching a Hell in a Cell one night, and I forget, it was such an awful pay-per-view that it ended up with Roman winning. And you know how they have the closed captioning in it? Mm-hmm. The boos were so loud that the closed captioning picked up crowd boos, and this is after the street had gone black. And I'll send you the screenshot. It says Hell in a Cell, all rights reserved, WWE, and then you see crowd boos, and it's just him getting wrecked, like absolutely destroyed. Oh my gosh, man! And then in Philly, you have the Rumble. Everybody's expecting Daniel.
I was there.
Daniel Bryan should be coming out, number 30. Yep. Daniel Bryan. Roman Reigns comes out.
Yep.
Dude, Philly was not having that shit.
Yeah, man. I want to say this. When The Rock came out, people loved it. People popped for The Rock. It's when when he raised Roman's hand.
Yep.
That's when people booed him.
It was the hell out.
No one was rocking with it. Pun intended. So all right. What other matches we got? The final match for SummerSlam. We got the women's championship match: Charlotte Flair, Bianca Belair versus Asuka. So how do you feel about that in regards to
I need Asuka to retain.
I think she should retain. Yep.
Although I am okay with anybody but Charlotte.
Okay.
I love Charlotte. Probably the greatest performer out of the women ever. Mm-hmm. Fantastic worker. I love her to death. Mm-hmm. She
sang the praises. Yep.
Nope. She does not need the belt. She just doesn't need it.
Serg, in the last episode, I said this, and I was getting killed. I said I like Charlotte is arguably the best women's wrestler ever. I get it. Does she need the title all the time? Does she? Nope. No, she doesn't. She has gotten to that level. This is a compliment. But when you're at a level where you don't need the belt, that's the best.
Belts don't matter to you. It doesn't matter. People love to see you regardless.
That's what I'm saying. When belts don't matter, that means that you're at a level where it doesn't matter what you do. You're so good that no matter the feud you're in, you can be in a feud that's not for the belt, and it would be the top feud in the company possibly because you're that good. I thank you I just want to say thank you for understanding that. I was getting killed for that.
No, absolutely not. Fight me on it. I don't care who it is.
Charlotte is great. Love Charlotte.
Amazing.
She's killing it.
I love Charlotte.
She's been consistent for years. You've been saying, I think there's other, I love Bianca Belair. I think Bianca, we've all been high on Bianca Belair for years.
Amazing.
We've been
I love Bianca too.
We saw Bianca Belair she put the strap on her now.
Absolutely.
She checked off all the boxes. We knew that. But
everything was there.
You have been on Charlotte. You have sang Charlotte's praises for almost a decade now.
Yep.
I know I will co-sign that. You have been very consistent with Charlotte. And I'm just saying, she doesn't need to have the title all the time. That's all I mean. That's all I mean. I'm not dissing her. I'm just saying.
Asuka, who is also up there with Charlotte.
Also up there. Like,
she finally gets to shine. And now Charlotte's going to take that? No.
Yeah. Let Asuka run with it. Like, she's been, let her have a good solid reign, When Asuka beat Bianca Belair, it wasn't like, I was happy. Like, I was like, Asuka, this isn't like shocking. Like, Asuka is like one of the best women's performers ever.
Yeah.
Like give her shine.
She's a legend in Japan, dude. Like it.
Yeah. Legendary.
Like, the only other outcome is if Bianca wins and turns heel.
Right.
And then Montez.
We held a poll on that.
And then Montez turns heel. And then you have the power couple. And then you strap a rocket to goddamn Montez. Because that man checks all the boxes to run that freaking company.
Yeah, he needs to. We all agree. I'm not sure if you remember this, but like, they had a couple of like when they have the test the feel out match.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about? They had like Montez have a couple singles matches, and I think like I'm not sure if you were on the thread. I feel like I don't know if you know what I'm talking about, but like it's like, oh, this is clearly a feel out match to see how Montez reacts with the crowd, how the crowd reacts to Montez as a singles wrestler. Get a feel for it. And I agree 100%. I think, I think if there's any wrestler in a tag team right now to be put into like kind of like that upper main event, that upper mid card main event level, where you could go for the title at any moment or be involved in the conversation with that, it's Montez Ford. So
Montez is a clear winner there. My other pick for that is yeah. Bianca's a heel.
No, I was just saying, Bianca as a heel would be insane. I just want to say that. That's all. That'd be awesome.
I think her character has nowhere to go but there, and then just up again. Like, you are turning an idol for kids. Like, you turn Bianca heel, it's insane.
Oh, she would.
But then you turn her husband heel, dude.
Yeah.
There would be like the new it couple. Like, you can't. And Montez can do it.
Yeah, man.
I don't think there's other options there, but I think Asuka should anybody but Charlotte, honestly.
I didn't mean to interrupt you before we talk about heel Bianca. What were you about to say?
I lost my train of thought.
That's cool.
It'll come back to me.
All right, cool. So we just talked about SummerSlam and everything like that, and this has been like an amazing conversation. Quick, if you can think about it, what are your top 5 SummerSlams? No rank. No, you don't have to rank it. Just like 5 that you think they're good.
Ooh, okay.
And if you want to wait, I can name mine. If you want to, I can name mine first. If you want to.
So, 2006.
Okay, 2006.
You know why I think that's one of my favorites. Oh, dude, I have to go back and look.
It's a lot. SummerSlam is a good. SummerSlam's historically a really good pay-per-view. They usually have a good SummerSlam. It's tough.
Yeah.
I'll find while you're thinking.
Yeah, go ahead.
No order for me. I like 2000, 2002, 2013, 97, and 91. Like, and
Ooh,
I have
97.
I have to put it honorable. I left out 92 and 98. 92 is British Bulldog versus Bret Hart. Are you kidding me? That's like a top, right? Like that. How could you like? I have an asterisk next to that because that's like an honorable mention. I just, maybe tomorrow I think that's in there. I don't know. And 98 has Triple H versus The Rock ladder match and has Stone Cold versus Taker. At middle of the Attitude Era. Like, that's a classic one. Like, there's a lot of good SummerSlams, but I think those 5 that I named, I think that over the course of those are my
97
favorites.
Was that Sean
Bret Hart
as the
with that entrance, HBK with the
as the ref, right?
One of the best, one of the best,
97
best
up there.
Entrances. I don't know why, but like that entrance with him, that's just HBK being HBK, like with the I don't know, it's just like peak HBK to me. It's just like so arrogant, such a jackass, like coming out. He just debuts the crotch chop in WWE. Like, it's
2008. Edge and
Batista
Undertaker.
versus
Edge and Undertaker.
Edge and Undertaker versus Cena too.
Yep.
That's a good one. Dude, there's a lot.
2011, CM Punk, John Cena.
Yep. That's a good
up
one.
There.
Yep.
Damn. I think probably 2006 is it for me. What am I missing? I know I'm missing one.
Dude, there's a lot. 96 had Vader versus HBK. That was actually a pretty good one. 99 was meh, but it was still solid. It had Triple H, Mankind, and Stone Cold with Jesse Ventura as the ref. 2001 had Rock. 2001 had Rock versus Booker T. 2003 was Elimination Chamber. That's a really good one. Where, Goldberg destroys and then Triple H hits him with a sledgehammer and wins.
Yeah.
You know. 2005 is
HBK
the
chamber
versus.
That Sean won? Or was that Survivor Series?
That was Survivor Series.
That was Survivor Series.
Dude, but you talk about selling from earlier. HBK selling for Goldberg in that Elimination Chamber. Goldberg punched him, and HBK like twirled like does a 360. He does a 360 like
dude, completely. That's probably it for me, man. He gets big booted and lands in the ring and then rolls outside of the ring and up the ramp.
HBK versus Hogan.
HBK and Hogan. The flop was just amazing.
Yeah. HBK as a heel for a month was killing it.
Yeah, absolutely.
That was a good SummerSlam. That was a great build up. He turned heel for a month and
DX versus Shane and Vince.
I think that was 2006.
I think so. Yeah, that was one of them.
I think that was 2006.
Let me pull it up.
Yeah, just look. So many. There's like I said. There's so many great SummerSlams that like it's just you can't really go.
That is
I don't think
2006.
there's gonna. Okay. Yeah.
There was one in Canada.
Oh gosh.
What was There was one with He Who Shall Not Be Named and Orton for the world title.
2004.
2004. So that was right after that WrestleMania. Yeah, that was a great match too.
Yep. That was a great match. He said
when he turned an RKO into a crossface.
Yep.
It's amazing. Great match.
Yeah, and then the ending is he tried to go for the crossface, and then Randy Orton hit him with the RKO and beat him clean.
Yep.
And then I just remember that like for Orton the character at the time, like I remember like he said, he who shall not be named was just like, be a man, shake my hand, be a man. Don't be a punk. Be a man and shake my hand, like and Orton like I don't know. That was a good,
Legend Killer Orton was one of.
I know he was quite the character, man.
Dude, so good.
I have an interesting question for you.
Shoot.
What do you think about the rise of LA Knight?
I think it's fantastic. Been watching that dude since TNA, and or Impact, whatever you want to call it now.
Right. Right.
It's funny because I made that comparison of him sounding like The Rock.
Yeah.
You brought up a great point that it just kind of proves that The Rock would have been good in any era.
Yep.
Because he has similar traits to The Rock as far as like his character and his gimmick. However, and this will be probably a hot take, I think LA Knight is a better in-ring performer than The Rock.
Fair enough. That's not just The Rock. The Rock was we both think The Rock was an awesome in-ring performer, but The Rock's apex was his mic skills and aura and charisma.
Oh, 100%. But I I think LA Knight has everything to. Obviously, he's not going to reach the level of The Rock because it's a different era entirely, and he won't get that push.
Right.
But if he did, I think he would be bigger than The Rock.
Oh, whoa.
Hear me out. If LA Knight was given the same treatment as The Rock, I think so. Because he's The Rock plus in-ring skills.
Hold on for a second. So The Rock actually overcame bad booking. He lost 3 WrestleManias in a row. He he Triple H, when he won at WrestleMania 2000, was the first bad guy to leave WrestleMania ever with the title.
Mm-hmm.
Like, your face shouldn't be able to overcome that. And The Rock, like, he got bigger from that. The Rock got the push as a heel, but like as when he was like the guy while Austin was out, or like when he was superseding Austin in like '99, like The Rock didn't get the most favorable booking. Like he was getting like Rock and Sock was like it was fun and everything, but like let's get some credit here. Like you think he could be bigger than The Rock?
You also have to consider, and again, I put in some caveats to that because you know how I feel about The Rock.
We do have The Rock as GOAT tier, so let's just not
100%. Like nobody will ever be bigger in my book than The Rock. The Rock is it. The Rock is the tippy top of what you can be from WWE. What I'm saying is, there's a caveat to that statement, but what you have to consider about The Rock is that at that point it was the norm to not give the babyface everything. It was norm to have the guy that's going to be the guy be on the chase the whole time. Mm-hmm. And then when you became the guy, you were a heel.
Right.
And that was
right
all the time. Like that that was the bread and butter of WWE. There was never a true face during the Attitude Era that was at the top.
Not a white meat baby face. No. Exactly. Not like a Cody Rhodes right now. No chance.
Exactly.
No chance.
Exactly.
None.
Because that just wasn't how it worked.
Blurred. Nope, so, not in that era. No way.
What I'm saying is, LA Knight is The Rock plus better in ring. So if you give LA Knight, listen, I think that man's gonna get a rocket strapped to him soon. I think LA Knight is due for a massive push. Obviously, he's not gonna reach the stratosphere like The Rock has. He's not gonna, he's not gonna go out and buy the XFL. But
Dude,
LA Knight has potential to be.
We're talking about Rock versus Hogan, Rock versus Austin 3 times, Rock versus Triple H, Rock versus Jericho, Rock versus Angle, Rock versus that is a hell of a take. That's a hell of a take. Listen, I'm gonna give you the chance.
I put caveats to that. I know what I'm saying here.
All right. All right. I like how you're saying. You're like, remember, I put caveats. There's caveats underlined.
Yeah.
Bold.
There's like here. This has to happen for my statement to apply. But yes.
All right. Much respect to LA Knight. That's probably the biggest compliment that you're gonna possibly get. That's wow. That is. I will say.
Give the man a chance, a real chance, and watch him overtake anybody you've seen.
I'm going to tell you this right now, though. I will say this. Like, I was, I had my phone on and I was doing something and like, it was just like, okay, SmackDown's like, I DVR SmackDown. Like, I'm like, okay, yeah, like, SmackDown and, I'm listening to everything. LA Knight's music hits, right? And I jolt because the crowd pop was so loud. It was like, and it's like, it was just like audibly, like, it just like made me jolt. I was like, whoa. Like, yo, you're not. That's that was kind of like some Attitude Era. Like, I was like, yo, that was kind of like that was on some Rock shit right there. That was like, that was pretty, he's over. He is over as hell right now. It's crazy.
Having charisma right now in the current WWE counts far more than being really, really good in the ring.
Right.
However, LA Knight has both.
Right.
So that's what I mean when I make that statement.
I feel you.
If you drop LA Knight in the Attitude Era and there is no Rock, I think that story repeats itself just with LA Knight as the Rock.
I can't go that far, but I will say this. I think that what LA Knight is showing is that type of, like I said, it pretty much just tells me The Rock is through any era. That's what it tells me.
I agree.
And I think LA Knight is one of those guys where you put a guy like that in any era, he's gonna make it. He's gonna make it. He's gonna figure it out. And I think that's definitely the biggest compliment you can get, because we both agree there's some people who have been monstrous who were like, oh, if you put him back there, they're not going to do anything. Like LA Knight is not one of those guys. I think that LA Knight, it should be interesting to see how far he can go. Do you think why do you think he's resonating with his WWE universe? Like, why do you think he's resonating with everybody? Do you think it's because of those rock mannerisms, those materials that harken back to those days? Because there hasn't really been that since that character.
I think that's part of it.
Mm-hmm.
For the older crowd, it'll resonate with like, oh hey, this guy reminds me of The Rock.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's more so the fact that his in-ring skills are good, but his mic work is great. He's not afraid to talk, and that energy comes through. And he's quick with it. He's like quippy, he's snappy, and that comes through, and that sort of gets with the crowd. It's like, yeah, I like this guy. He's brash. He talks shit, but he can back it up. Like everything The Rock did, everything Stone Cold did, like that's what makes him super over with the crowd. Because hey, guess what? The main champion barely gets on a mic as it is.
Right.
And like that's what I'm saying. Roman like needs Paul Heyman for that. He's gotten way better, but like you saw him when John Cena called him out on it on the promo. Yeah. And like I said, I'll always give respect when it's due. John Cena, one of the best out there with the mic. Period. You can't just go up to John Cena and not be on your A game. Like you get slaughtered. That's why I think that John Cena would have also done better in the Attitude Era when he still had the rapper gimmick. When he had the rapper character, he would have probably blown up better in the Attitude Era.
Oh, that's quite a statement, man. I actually think a little different with that. I think Cena would have been a player in the Attitude Era, but I think that you're gonna like this actually. This is why I think this. It depends on when Cena would rise up in the Attitude Era. If it was before Eminem, I don't think he has a chance in hell.
Oh, yeah.
I don't think he has a chance in hell. If it's after Eminem, he has a chance.
Absolutely, that plays.
If it's before 1998, he has no chance. If it's like 99, 2000, yes, because that was a major factor in John Cena getting over at that time. Because Eminem completely changed the landscape of what it is to be a white rapper in rap and hip hop. It completely shifted the needle completely. It was like this is different. This isn't a joke.
Because otherwise he would have gotten Vanilla Ice comments all the time.
He would have gotten killed. Yeah, that's just my opinion with that. That's why
No. You're absolutely right. So let me rephrase my statement. I think that a John Cena with his mic skills, unhinged, unable to like. Given the reign to say whatever you want,
nuts.
Just like have complete reign here. I think Cena blows the hell up because he's good on the mic. So like if you give Cena the room, he will gallop. Is what I mean.
He'll figure it out. Yeah, I got you. I feel that. Dude, thank you so much for this conversation. Amazing. I just can always we can talk for hours, man. Yeah. I want to harp on a final topic of sorts for this quick round robin. Quick thoughts on MJF and his title reign in AEW.
So I think MJF is the best AEW has to offer.
Okay. Great heel.
Yeah. Absolutely great. There are key points to that statement because everything that surrounds, his contract and whether he goes or he stays. As of now, and correct me if I'm wrong, I think his contract ends at the end of this year, correct? Like that
is true. I believe he's going to be a free agent in 2024. That is legit. He's probably going to re-sign with AEW, but it's legit. Like, if I'm WWE, I mean, who knows? Like, maybe he has a oral agreement with Khan, and maybe maybe he knows he's going to resign. I don't know, but if I'm Triple H, I'm like, nah, I'm trying to get MJF. Duh, you know what I mean? So
the kid is just too good. It's too good on the mic. Yeah. Like the best example I can give you for him and how his mind works. he cut a fantastic promo on Adam Cole. And the promo that he cut on Adam Cole is almost verbatim from a promo that Adam Cole cut when he was in NXT.
Wow.
And he used all those same exact phrasings and words against Cole, and Cole like saw it. And you could see, you look it up. You run both promos, and MJF just used it against them completely and disarmed them.
He's like, different, man.
He's a different
MJF
breed.
Is different.
MJF has a bright future against them. He plays the heel perfectly. That's why I say that I would love to see him with The Miz, because I don't care who you are, I don't care what you say, The Miz has been one of the best heels WWE has had consistently for the past 15 years.
Okay. That's I don't think that's actually, of all the hot takes that have been said in this episode, I think that's actually pretty legit. I think The Miz overall has been consistent. I know if people were to give the criticism, he's been kind of a joke and stuff like that, but no matter what, he's been a very consistent, very solid, pure heel his entire, most of his reign, most of his career. So we'll see what happens with MJF as his career continues to evolve. I don't even think he's 27 yet, man. Is he 27?
I don't think so. 26.
He's really young. It's crazy. Oh my gosh, that's crazy. Yeah. That's crazy.
Yeah.
We might have to, when we talk about top 10, top 5 heels, and I mean, it might have to, conversation.
He can be put up there.
Conversation's gonna have to be involved.
Real quick for you, JB, because I want to know this.
Sure.
If you don't have it off the top of your head, that's absolutely fine. But who is top 5 greatest heels of all time? And then give me the reason why you're number 1.
I actually had this. Shout out to SVW. I got into this debate in SVW. Let me ask you a question. Do you want top 5 pure heels or top 5 heel runs? There's a difference.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Because I actually got into a conversation about this. Heel runs is different than pure heels.
Sure.
Because The Rock wasn't
a pure heel, but he had a heel run.
That became a tweener, but he had a great heel run. So I would say Hollywood Rock, but that's a heel run. That's not him. But The Miz is a better heel than The Rock. Overall, that's all I'm saying.
All right. So
right?
Okay. So let's say who has done the best heel work.
More accomplished heel. Sorry.
Yeah.
Okay. Who's done the best heel work? So that's probably a blend of both, right? All right. Wow. Of all time?
Yeah.
Oh man. Roddy Piper, Rick Rude, Ted DiBiase, Triple H.
Yeah, okay, I was waiting for that. If you didn't say Triple H in your top 5, I was gonna cuss you out.
Triple H. Well, this is what I mean. Triple H, in my opinion, has the best Triple H's 2000. Triple H from 99 to 2001 is the best heel I've ever seen. And
yeah,
I'm sorry.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. His peak. I'm a big fan of peak. I like peak value. Longevity matters, but I just like peak value. That's just how I look at stuff. When I view peak value, that means like for a sustained period, at the peak of your absolute powers, that's like your apex of what you did. And when it comes to that, Triple H is like when Triple H defeated The Rock at WrestleMania 20, they threw trash in the ring.
Yep.
They threw trash in the ring. Like
dude,
not only did they do that because they were upset that The Rock lost, because that's a testament to how over The Rock was. It's because of how much they hated Triple H. Like there has to be like Austin, like Triple H being the man behind who ran over Austin. Crowd wanted to see Triple H get completely borderline killed, murdered. Yep. Like I mean, I'm not, I'm just saying like
100%.
Triple H elicited hate. Like people hated him. Let's give him his flowers with that. In my mind, he is a top 5 all-time heel. That was 4, right?
That was 4. You said
man,
Piper,
I want to say
Triple H, and you said Rick Rude, right?
Okay, yep. Okay, so, oh man, this is tough.
JR hated Triple H.
Yeah. Oh, of course. You son of a bitch.
Yeah, dude.
Like,
oh my God. JR would have a freaking coronary every time he came out.
Oh man. So you got your Mr. Perfects. You got your I don't know. The top 5 is tough, but fifth, there's a lot of people I'm leaving out here. Impact wise, I could put Hollywood Hulk Hogan. Now I know, like,
Heel
I
run,
mean,
yeah.
impact wise, that's more of a heel run, but it changed wrestling. I'm sorry, you have to. It's like, I could throw him in there. I love The Rock's heel work. I love The Rock. I like Corporate Rock. I liked Hollywood Rock. Hollywood Rock was really short, but it was so memorable and so good. The Toronto promo was one of my favorite heel promos. The Rock has come back to Tehran's mouth. Like, it's
so good.
It's complete. Like, oh man. All right, so that fifth one is tough, man. I feel like the shit.
So
okay.
I'm gonna throw one out there for you.
Go for it.
Chris Jericho.
Chris Jericho's another one. He's up there in terms of heel. His heel work in 2008 was one of the best heel runs I've ever seen.
Yep.
He was incredible. He was a complete piece of crap. He was great. Chris Jericho is, arguably the greatest of all time. And when it comes to, he's adapted throughout his career. He can be a great babyface, a tweener, he can do anything, a heel, pure heel.
The man put a piece of paper over more than most wrestlers.
He put a piece of paper over more than most wrestlers, yeah. So Chris Jericho's definitely up there, man. It's tough, man. So I think for that fifth spot, I'm gonna have to go with
Yeah, it's hard, man.
I'm gonna have to go with Hollywood Hulk Hogan, man.
Okay.
NWO.
That's fair. That whole, I mean, it changed the landscape for sure.
Just for that, but in terms of like pure
yeah,
this is tough. I could change this tomorrow. It's tough, man. I named there's a lot of honorable mentions with this. Like, I feel like I have to make 2 separate. That was tough, Serg.
So I love questions like that because it's difficult. Yeah. It's difficult to kind of break it down.
Top 10 would be easier, but you went top 5.
Yeah.
Okay. Before I ask you what you think, if not Hollywood Hulk Hogan, then it would have to be Mr.
Ric
Perfect.
Flair.
Mr. Perfect's great. Oh my God, Ric Flair! Stop. That's my fault. I messed up. Ric Flair's 5. I messed up. What's wrong with me?
Yeah.
I apologize, audience. I apologize. Of course. Oh my gosh. That's blasphemous by me. That is blasphemous by me.
Yep.
Roddy Piper, Rick Rude, Teddy DiBiase, Triple H, Ric Flair. That's
done. Okay.
That's this.
That's good. All right. That's fine.
Good call, man. Good call. I can admit, like I said, I cannot believe I almost forgot Ric Flair.
I was waiting.
Oh my gosh. All right, there we go. There we go.
I'm pretty much in agreement with you. I think Triple H for me it's up there. Because I particularly grew up, hating him.
Yeah.
As a kid I was like, God damn it, Triple H, but I always loved seeing him. Ric Flair, Chris Jericho. I've always loved The Miz. You know, I stand The Miz so hard.
Miz is top 10 for me.
Yeah. I stand The Miz so super hard. I've always liked anything Razor Ramon did. He was just
heel Razor Ramon, really good. Yeah.
Yeah, man. It was just.
I got one.
Edge had a huge run as a heel, man.
Of course.
Edge is up there. Like, I remember that promo where he's like, "Well, you know what? I proved you all wrong. Hey, kid, when you grow up, guess what? You're gonna be wrong." That entire promo was fantastic, man. He made children cry. It's great.
I know.
I loved it.
I know. There's one we haven't mentioned, man. I can't believe we haven't said this. Randy Orton.
Oh, damn it!
I know, Randy Orton. He's solid top 10, solid, arguably top 5.
So you know what?
Make the argument.
It's funny because Randy.
Make the argument he's top 5. You could.
Yeah, absolutely. He's top tier for sure. He's probably Damn. See, because
it's tough, right?
I've always seen Randy as just Randy.
Yeah.
I never qualified him as a heel because Randy has always just been Randy. Like even when he's a face, he's still a heel. Yeah. And I don't know. It's just he's in a tier all of its own,
Dude, man. Orton, like when Orton as a there's the Legend Killer Orton, and that 2009 against Triple H, the match didn't stick the landing, unfortunately, it was the same night as HBK versus Taker.
Versus
And
Taker.
also, sidebar, damn, Triple H against Chris Jericho the same night as Hogan versus Rock. So Triple H had a couple WrestleManias where it's like, damn, just bad luck. But anyway, it's up until that match, like Orton as a heel was so good. Like it was like he was completely terrorizing the McMahon family and Triple H and stuff. Like it was beautiful at that time.
It's just one of the most amazing runs ever. My favorite moment with which I think it's peak Orton heel, is when he RKO'd Stephanie.
Yep.
Which was led to the Unforgiven match with Randy. Yeah. With Triple H. And that moment where Triple H goes into the ring and Triple H is just like,
it's like the Hulk,
furious at him. I remember Keenan and I were like thinking, going like Triple H knows this is it's not real, right? Triple H knows that this is a work. Like he didn't actually RKO his wife, like because you could tell that Randy was like, we're getting coffee after this, like we're cool, like this. We talked about this. This was part of the plan. But like that Triple H, that face he made me, he was ready to kill him. It was great.
Yeah, man, he was ready to kill him, man. So that was good call, man. That was a good. I could change my list of like I said, I didn't even include the Rock, Hollywood Hulk Hogan. Like in terms of impact, like that's you could argue he's top 5, but I think our lists are those are pretty good lists that we came up with.
Yeah, I agree.
Like those are pretty good. It's
I guarantee you're gonna text me like later tonight and be like, dude, I forgot this.
I know.
So
so what I wanted to end this with was talk about like us as like fellow friends, people who've been watching wrestling for forever now. We have gone to WrestleMania the past 2 years. What Mania trip did you enjoy more? WrestleMania 38 in Dallas or WrestleMania 39 this past year in Los Angeles?
Oof, that's rough.
Right?
Honestly, the OG trip is probably the best.
Special, right? I know
it's just special because
finally did it.
We have been talking about it for a long time, and
for like a decade, man.
And to finally put the trip together, and for it to come together so seamlessly, that it was just easy, and then for it to be such an amazing WrestleMania, and to be in Dallas, which I know you hated.
Dallas Cowboys, but that's right. Another topic.
Cowboy country.
But it was. But the stadium was cool. The stadium was awesome.
Yeah,
it was awesome.
It's
I know you
love it.
Obviously.
I love it.
Man.
I love it.
Yeah.
Obviously,
you're in element, man. You're living your best life.
Yeah. Having been there before, I knew what to expect, and that trip was just fantastic. I loved the LA trip. The LA trip was amazing too. But that OG trip is probably the best. Now, in the next few years, when we're going to all the other ones, I think that if they do offer the London one,
if they do London, that's going to be insane.
That's going to be the trip.
If they do London, that's going to be insane.
Yeah.
That's going to be
us fucking loose in London. No, it's over.
It's over. I think I have to agree with you. I think that the both trips were absolutely great. I think they both hold two different spots in my head. I think with the LA trip we just did, I think that it was cool because we had already done the Dallas trip and we kind of were experienced with like how to handle everything. Like, all right, this is what we do. We know how it went. We know it went smooth. Like, we know how to get everyone involved. We know how to take care of the tickets. It was just really like, But I will say there was just something special about that Dallas trip. Like, we're on a spot where we could do it and figure it out, and it was just so seamless. Like,
it was easy.
Shout out to Tucker who joined us, fellow amazing pro wrestling watcher and friend.
Yep.
But like he joined us with that trip, and he was even saying, he's like, wow, I never been involved with such a trip that went so smooth. Like, everyone paid on time.
Everybody just came together. Everybody was chill. No issues whatsoever.
No issues whatsoever. No, not even like no shred of drama. Everyone paid when they needed to pay. Everyone was on the same page. And we're just like, yep, we just want to go to Mania and make this happen. And we did it. We did the damn thing. I think
that the only one thing that went wrong, and it wasn't in our control, is that some flights got delayed.
Yeah, flights got delayed because of.
But it wasn't even crazy. It was just a few hours.
Yeah.
Besides that, everything went great.
Yeah, it was definitely, I think because of that, like it's gonna hold a special part that that was the trip that we did it. It was great. We all made it. We all made it happen. We all had a great time. We went to like a great Mania. But hopefully, like I'm hoping, it's gonna be, I'm hoping that Philly surpasses all that because it's in our home turf, and it's crazy with every Cool Talk episode we do. It's just like one more leading up to WrestleMania in Philadelphia, and it's gonna be baller with that too. I'm hoping for the 40th anniversary they make sure it's one of the better the upper tier WrestleManias. I will say that. I hope that's what happens. But yeah, man, that Dallas. I think I agree that Dallas trip is it's just something about being like that's like the first one that we really did because we had been talking about it for years.
It just never lined up until it
finally did. And when it
lined up, it was easy,
Yeah, man. Yeah, for
and
sure.
then we made it work again for LA, and we're gonna make it work again for Philly, and I think Philly is gonna be amazing. I think Philly takes top spot, obviously because home turf, but
yeah. Home court advantage here. It's gonna be great.
Yeah. However, I am very excited for the future because for the next 4 WrestleManias, it looks like we're going to get London, Vegas, Tennessee, Nashville, and maybe Minnesota, which I don't know if I really want to take the trip to Minnesota. No hate on Minnesota. I love it.
Right.
But I don't know if I want to be out there in the weather, like
30 degrees in April.
Right. The new Viking Stadium is indoor, right?
Yes, it's indoor.
So that might be the saving grace.
When the crew comes out and we like to go to WrestleMania, we like to have our fun. So
I'm not gonna.
We don't want to. We like to explore the city and see what's going on and everything like that. So I'm not sure. I would love there. Yeah. We're not trying to be in frigid weather here. Like,
but we'll like if it's London, Vegas, and Nashville, we already have the next 3. You already have the next 3 lined up.
Man, actually, from what I looked at, I think that from what I looked at it, I have to check again, but it looked like Nashville for 2027 is pretty much going to happen. It sounded like they're building a new stadium, and I think the caveat with that stadium was that WrestleMania was going to come pretty soon after they were done stadium.
So 26 or 27. So yeah.
I think it's going to be 26 or 27. Yeah. Vegas, obviously, we thought, that's what's crazy. We thought this year was going to be Vegas. We just thought
pleasantly surprised.
Like Philly, because we've been, Philly, it's been a long time coming. Last time was 23 years ago. It's going to be 25 years. It's going to be 20. No, it's going to be 25 years.
Because it was 15 or 16?
It was 1999, WrestleMania 15.
15, yeah.
So yeah. It's yeah, man. So it's gonna be great. It's gonna be great. But and the future WrestleMania is have you been to Nashville, man?
No, I've never been.
Dude, I think you and I would really vibe in Nashville, especially because we both like music. The music down there, man. And we're both eclectic. The live, I'm not even that much of a country guy. I like some country, but and I loved it. I like my whiskey, and I love I just like live music.
I'm ready, man. I'm ready. Let's go.
Yeah, right. I liked just the vibe, man. The big street in Nashville is called Broadway, and that's where that strip is insane. It's it's a little touristy, but it's fun, man. It's fun. It's just live music.
I heard that the nightlife is pretty sweet.
Dude, it is. I'll put it like this: for that trip, that's going to be, we might need to come out a little early. We need to go out a little earlier for that one.
And which I do every year.
Yeah,
I do every year.
Yeah, man. So
absolutely.
Yeah, man. So yeah, in regards to WrestleMania, on our trip so far, Dallas holds a special place in our heart. Serg, thank you for being on, man. This was great. Yeah, man, of course, and gonna have you on again, man. Is there anything else that you would like to, lead everybody with what you're up to, with what you're, any outlooks on the industry, anything that you have to say to, to the audience?
Ooh, you know what? I didn't even think about a sign-off message, but obviously, I absolutely love wrestling, and I hope that more people come into it, especially that now that there's so much there to see. And yes, we know wrestling is scripted. It's not fake. It is absolutely real. We know what you mean when you say it's not real. I absolutely love wrestling, man, and I hope it perseveres, and I hope it stays with us, because it's a huge element of the group of friends we have. And yeah, man, I hope that
it brings people together, man. We've been watching this.
I love it. I just hope it remains a thing for us for a long, long time.
Yeah, man, we're going like, just our love letter to pro wrestling. Like that's what RealTWC has been, and that's what like our friend group has like evolved into. Like not only are we all like friends, but like we all just like pro wrestling brought us together. Exactly. You know what I mean? Like It's just like, and it's just, we've been watching it pretty with the ebbs. Think about it like this, and I'll sign off with this. We'll sign off with this. Like the ebbs and flow of life. Like, great things happen, bad things happen, but the constant has been like we all go back to like our love. Like, hey, you watch Raw? That just something. Hey, you see the family? Like just a random message. We might not talk for days. It's like we just to be a comment like, yo, you just see this match? Oh, yo, this match was awesome. Like it just is. It just is what it is. It's a constant thread.
That's kind of like the core. Is especially one of the things that you and I have always been able to do. Is just to talk hours about the things we like, whether it's wrestling, music, sports, or fantasy. When we talk about fantasy, we could just be there for hours. We used to.
Yeah, man.
You guys used to come over to my place on Sunday to watch football all day because we were on fantasy together. So like,
yeah, man.
All throughout all of that, it just exactly. So that's why I definitely appreciate this platform and being able to just kind of nerd out on wrestling and everything else. It's amazing for me. So definitely thank you for having me. I would love to come back anytime you need me.
Man. Of course, man. Thanks everybody for tuning in. Just JB and Serg signing off. Till next time.
Peace.
Peace.